All right, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, I apologize. I had to pick a friend up from the airport. You know, I was rushing to shower and get my breakfast in and do everything and drive there and drive there and get there and get that. Here I am. I'm here now. All right. What's up, everyone? You had one job? Yeah, and I'm about to do it. I have one job, which is dealing with a steady stream of emotional abuse from chat. Love your jacket. Thanks. I want to try wearing it a little bit more, you know? It is made from the exact same material as a burlap sack. So, I'm doing good, Vosh. Thanks. How are you? I feel pretty okay. I feel okay. Fake shoes? That's true. That's true. Professor Vosh? That's true. All clothing is like professor clothing. That's true. What's up, everyone? Expensive burlaps? It wasn't that much, like, relatively speaking. Pants check. You ready for it? Yo! Actually appropriate for this jacket. It's meant to be worn with shorts. I mean, it can be. Hello, Artemy. Hello, fat man. Hello, fat man. Wah. You got opinions on stuff? You got opinions on stuff? Why do you look so shell-shocked? What do you got to worry about? You're wearing the mullet of clothes? No, it's consistent, you know? It's meant to be worn like this. New Thursday shoes just arrived and I love them so much. Oh, beautiful. Nice loafers. It's a particular kind of look. The Intercept leaked plans? Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Don't worry, we'll take a look at that. Oh, boy. Can't get a goddamn moment of peace. Mexican election day is tomorrow? Oh, nice. TurboTax execs currently planning their mass suicide. Yo, can we, hold on, like, unironically, can we please enjoy a, like, okay, one of the most obvious and absurd, I don't know, insults to life in the United States is that the government is perfectly capable of doing your taxes for you, or at least a very large part of it, and tax filing companies lobbied the government and asked them, please don't do that, because we would rather it if people came to H&R Block and spent $500 getting a professional to file their taxes, even though this person who's getting somebody else to file their taxes has a completely normal income stream, who would take like the standard deductible, who has like basically nothing additional to, like no private business or whatever, no income to report outside the stuff that's already covered in the what's been filed by the company they work for. And it's like, yeah, for this task you have to pay H&R Block $5 million every single year. But last year, so the year before, wait, wasn't last year? Yeah, it was last year. The IRS introduced their own free online tax filing program that is so simple that even me, an idiot, was able to figure it out despite having a relatively unconventional income stream, you know? The tax men, they don't know what to do with you when you're a streamer, self-employed, $50 billion a day, where's the income coming from, PayPal, you know, you put in a little more work. I was able to figure it out. You can figure it out. Yeah, I had a tummy ache while I was filing, and I still managed it.
Completely for free. That's thanks. We are one step closer to being able to file our taxes completely for free. That's thanks to a new pilot program launched this year by the IRS called Direct File. The program empowered working class taxpayers to file their taxes directly with the government.
Again, like okay, so to be clear, if you are below a certain income level, or if you just have like a W-2 or whatever, it is so easy to do this. It was a bit more of a pain for me because, again, unconventional, you know, income structure, like the government hates you if you're self-employed. But seriously, you know, we pay more in taxes because we have to pay both half. We don't have another company that's covering the one half of the Medicare. That we have to pay the self-employment tax. Like, we're paying more, even though you'd think self-employment, you'd think we'd be taxed less because we're not like draining an app. Okay, whatever. Seriously, if you're in America next year, if assuming this program doesn't get nuked into orbit by like Donald Trump's second term or whatever, please use it.
Without paying corporate
I love this
giants
animation.
TurboTax or H&R Block. The new program has already helped save working class people $90 million in refunds and an estimated $5.6 million in tax preparation fees.
Also, I don't know if the average American understands this, but you do realize that when you get a refund from the government, that's not you getting money, right? That just means you overpaid on your taxes. I've never gotten a tax refund, nor do I want one, because it means I file my taxes correctly to begin with. You know, I don't like getting a refund just means all the money that you got refunded you could have had earlier in the year. You know, you already could have been, you know, yeah, it's not a refund. It's just like you're like, you paid too much. You're getting change back, basically. Just to be clear.
Over 140,000 taxpayers used the service this year.
Only 140,000 taxpayers, of which I was one, by the way. So that's 139,999 taxpayers who aren't lunatics, at least, like at maximum. We need this to be, how many taxpayers are in America? Like at least 1 million? we need all of them on this, okay?
Far surpassing Treasury's goal of 100,000 users, with an overwhelming majority reporting a high degree of user satisfaction. Thanks to funding from the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRS has simplified the tax filing process and set a new standard for how the government develops technology.
Yeah, the app that you do it with, it's not an app, it's a website, but the portal that you do it with, like the website structure, actually pretty good. I was kind of like nervous to use it the first time because I'm familiar with how government websites tend to run, you know? And everyone remembers the Medicare, like Obamacare disaster when they opened up the website and it crashed like forever immediately. But this one ran pretty damn well. This one ran pretty damn well. Oh, is YouTube having a buffer? That's appropriate considering what I'm talking about. There are other free sites like Free Tax USA. No, there aren't. No, stop. Don't. No, okay? This is direct filing it with the IRS. This isn't, you're not doing it through some other company or whatever. This is you doing it directly to the IRS. Yeah, no third party, no asterisks, no fill it out for free, and then at the end it's like, hey, for only $60 extra, we can like send it to them via like electronic form rather than mailing it to them and like attaching the mail to a carrier pigeon that we've kept locked in a basement for 600 years, you know, that will maybe deliver it. Like, yeah, it's yeah. Direct filing was great this year, but I hate the fucking video selfie crap they make you do to confirm identity. I mean, it's a government thing, you know, at least it's staying on their servers, right? I think actually the ID.me partnership they have means it's staying on their servers, but whatever. At least there's some level of government accountability. The library does your taxes free too. That really varies depending on where you are. Guys, you can do it for free online!
So why direct file? Well, for far too long, the tax filing system hasn't worked for taxpayers. All of us collectively spend
I think I'd still prefer going through an accountant. Oh, and I haven't even begun to talk, by the way. A lot of accountants, a lot of tax filers are fucking you, okay? It's non-consensual, frankly, and I think that you should get tested at a police station, okay? It's fucked up, you know? There are so many things you might be able to take advantage of that you can't. Because like they don't give a shit. Like the lady at like H&R Block or whatever, it's like, yeah, I'm filing taxes for 60 people today. I genuinely don't give a shit what your life situation is. You know your situation best, you know? My mom doesn't think I'm doing it right on TurboTax. I mean, you do want to make sure you're taking advantage of every deductible you can get, right? Like as long as that system exists, there's no reason to impoverish yourself. Every dollar you save not paying taxes is another, like, 1/1,000,000th of a JDAM that we don't send Israel, okay?
$0.7 billion hours, or $31 billion annually just to file our taxes, even though the overwhelming majority have pretty simple returns and should be able to file in mere minutes and for free. The problem is,
hello,
the nation's
Mr.
largest tax prep companies want you to pay to file. And so they've spent millions lobbying to maintain a broken filing process. They've even tricked taxpayers into thinking they can file for free, but then charge them for filing anyway.
Yep. You guys have to understand how insane this is. It was always easier for everyone, including the government, for you to just directly file with the IRS. And then the companies were like, what if we made things less efficient so we could make more money? Like, this wasn't even an instance of corporations stepping up to overcharge people for a service that was needed. This was a service that wasn't needed, that they made needed by lobbying to make it scarce so they could make money off of it. It costs hundreds of dollars to get your taxes filed at H&R Block, even if you're going with some cheapo TurboTax, whatever, like around 100. But are you doing a good job with that filing? I bet you the ID.me IRS like self-pay system does a better job of organizing everything, so you can take better advantage of your deductibles. You know? I thought TurboTax was free. That's what they want you to think.
This tax filing season, the IRS launched Direct File with a pilot in 12 states, relying on an iterative process that's similar to how a private company would beta test a new tech product. They offered a mobile...
I don't know why people in chat are saying it's free when it's, like, factually not. You can literally Google, like, does TurboTax have fee? Like, why I don't know why you're arguing with me. Why, guys, think for 1/1,000,000th of a second. Why would a company exist if the only service it offered was free? It's a private company. What do you think it's a charity?
First tool in both English and Spanish, and robust bilingual customer support. The Direct File pilot was a test, and the IRS passed with flying colors. It's time to fully fund the IRS to make...
Don't they just take it out of the refund? Do they actually do that? Wait, hold on. TurboTax take fee from refund. That's so scummy. Like, it doesn't even... $40 processing fee charged by third-party bank. TurboTax offers the option to deduct your full service fees from your federal refund. God, that's scummy. So people think it's, like, not even... Like, they think it's free because the average American doesn't understand that the tax rebate isn't free money. I literally saw people after taxes were filed this year, I literally saw people on social media being like, I don't know what the fuck is up with Biden's America, but I got basically nothing in my tax refund last year. And it's like, bro, that's a good thing. That means you didn't overpay. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Bro, I went and bought a McDouble, and when I handed them exact change, they didn't even give me any change back. Where'd that money go? Biden's America. You're so stupid. I hate Americans. Oh my God.
Direct File a permanent fixture of American tax administration and to meet the needs of taxpayers everywhere. Americans deserve a real choice in how they file their taxes, and the IRS is setting a new standard for how the government can and should work for its people. Visit betterirs.org.
Another phenomenal example of how a well-run government program in the right place can instantly, like, invalidate billions of dollars of corporate competition in that region. Much in the same way that, like, this is just like a utility issue. It's the same reason why we have, like, state constructed and run utility lines rather than having 16 different power companies in every county, each of them with their own power line to your house. You know, it used to be like that for a while. There would be, like, water companies, power companies, telephone lines, and it was like, oh, sorry, this company went bankrupt. All that line that you paid to run to your house, it's literally useless now. That's not city infrastructure. That's literally just, like, their line. It's like trash now. If you want to get, you know, new service, you're going to have to call a new company and they're going to have to line it out here, you know? That's how it is in the UK, thanks to Margaret Thatcher. Thank you, Margaret Thatcher. It's still like that in a lot of rural places. Well, in a lot of rural places, you still have to do the line yourself, but at least you're not like running competing lines with different local providers, you know? Remember when that guy you debated wanted Pepsi to sponsor bridges? Oh, that reminds me of another segment we're going to do. Yes, 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 yes. Who is that? Is that Artemy? It is Artemy. Do you guys want to see something gnarly really quick, not safe for life? R/morbid reality. Do you guys want to see something super fucked up? I improperly hung up my t-shirts for a while because I'm still kind of learning this. Please keep in mind that my whole fashion journey has only been going on for like 8 months. And long story short, I said this a while ago. Long story short, what's the best way to reshape the shoulders of a t-shirt to your body and proportions? You simply steam it while wearing it. Yeah, so anyway, I've got this like it's not that bad, you know, but it happens so quickly and it's really discouraging me from doing any more like shoulder steaming, you know? Dumbass ironed himself. Yeah, keeping me flat, you know? Keeping me flat, keeping me compressed down to the line. Are you for real? Do I look like I'm joking? Do I look like I am joking to you? Is this a joke? Is this a joke to you? You know what they need to make? They need to make like heat-proof insulated suits, like body suits, like Filthy Frank, so that you can put your t-shirt on over it and then steam it to your body and you're immune to it. You did not stutter. I did not stutter. No, I often do stutter, and this time I did not. This is making me question your decision making. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, there are elements of life where you have to exercise caution, and then there are those where I feel like you kind of don't. Like, for instance, if I'm in a group setting and we're kind of like wandering around downtown and people don't really know where to go, I'll just pick a direction, march that way, and tell people to follow me. I don't have any plan in mind. I just feel like it's good to be moving. For me, steaming a t-shirt while wearing it, that's like moving forward in life. Like, you have a thought, you act on it, you know? I'm action oriented. You know, I sometimes thinking is emasculation. On this, the fascists and I, we agree, you know? You have to not think, you have to simply charge forward and scald your own shoulder with boiling water. You're gonna get people killed. Yeah, me pointing directly into the busy street during traffic, like, all right, gang, let's do it. Solid idea, just refine the execution. Unironically, you know, do you think maybe I could get like okay, this is probably so fucking extra because we're talking about t-shirt steaming, okay? But like, get like a mold of your shoulders so that you can hang the shirt literally on your shoulders, you know? And that way when you steam it, it is perfectly conforming to your... That would actually be so fucking good. You could totally do that. Because one of the issues, too, is like the collar. Because you can steam a shirt or wash it, but the collar kind of hangs up in the back a little bit, you know? That'd be insane. Wouldn't that be so cool, though? I don't even know if that's a thing. Like getting like a mannequin recreation of your... But it would waste too much space, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that's not already a thing, you know? Maybe wear a shirt in the bathroom with a hot shower running. Well, you can do that with jeans, depending on the type of jean, you know? What mic stand do you use? I don't remember. I'm sorry. There's like a bunch of drop-shipped mic stands on Amazon. I don't know. It's like $25 or something. But how do you know it isn't steaming you to the shape of the shirt? Yeah, I like take to the steamer and I finish after a few minutes and the fog clears and I see that my body is now perfectly flat, like folded inside of an iron shirt that looks like it just came out of a package. Can you wear it in a sauna? You don't actually want to steam like that, though, you know? It's about, like, selective heat and pressure. It's about, like, how you press taut. You have to press taut when you're steaming. You can't just, like, ambiently steam something. What kind of shorts would you recommend for the summer? Ones that feel good on you. The only thing that you should keep in mind when buying shorts is make sure to remember like shape and fit, you know? Make sure you're trying to construct a good silhouette. You can go like short shorts, kind of like what I'm wearing right now, like something that breaks you into the rule of thirds a little bit, where the bit of your legs that's showing is the last third. Or you can wear longer shorts that go down to the knee and have kind of like a straighter, like board short kind of look, you know? Whatever you like. Really just a personal preference. Might splurge and get a custom-made mannequin for 600. Wait, I wouldn't have to splurge and make a custom-made mannequin. Vermin literally has done plaster casting. This would be like the easiest thing in the world. Like genuinely. I've literally seen Vermin do a plaster cast of a person's entire torso before. It would be like pretty easy, honestly. I just don't know if it's like an incredibly stupid idea. You're huge? I mean, yes, but we're not going to plaster model my cock. We're not doing any reshaping of my pants. We're just doing the t-shirts, okay? Okay, all right, moving on. DIY duct tape mannequin. Yeah, no. This is how people make fursuits. The duct tape mannequin is how people make fursuits. It's a tried and true strategy. Yeah, I've seen those too. Yeah. Welcome, Crispian. Welcome to the real chat. All right. For hats? Why for hats, JS23? I don't wear hats. I'm not a big hat guy. I kind of wish that I was, but I'm not. All right, let me get the next segment up. Hold on. All right, folks, I've got some good news. So some of you, this used to be more of a feature of my rhetoric than it is now, just because life changes. You know, like we can only move one direction at a time. But I'm a libertarian socialist. Now, in my opinion, that is a redundant term because socialism is necessarily libertarian. Like, what's the whole point of a proletarian state, of a state, you know, by the working class, for the working class, if it's not democratic? Like the libertarian element, like the freedom element, I mean, I feel like that kind of gets packaged in. Libertarianism was initially a socialist ideology before it got co-opted by American right-wing hyper-capitalists who thought like freedom should mean freedom from OSHA and taxes and very little else. You know, you might work on a company town and work 16-hour days as a 5-year-old in the coal mine in order to afford your rent that you pay with company script, but at least you don't pay much in taxes, right? So American libertarianism has been pretty blighted historically. The Libertarian Party has been kind of, you know, all over the place. Now, the Mises Caucus is a wing of the Libertarian Party that has been trying to, and I'm not going to overstate the case here, Nazify it. A lot of libertarian voters are cranks. Like, a lot of them are right-wing, some of them are kind of left-leaning, a lot of them are very conspiracy-oriented, some of them are just kind of weird and not super well-educated, whatever. Like, any American's well-educated, right? You kidding me? But the problem with the Libertarian Party is that historically it has acted as a spoiler for the Republicans. That is to say, like, Gary Johnson getting 3% of the national vote back in 2016, well, it didn't keep Trump from becoming the president, but if we didn't have, you know, the Electoral College, it might have. It's the Libertarians have a tendency to pull from the Republican vote, you know, a little bit more than they do the Democrats or whatever else. You get me? Right? So Republicans, they fear the Libertarian spoiler vote, and as a consequence, they want to make the Libertarians more useful. After Charlottesville, the Unite the Right neo-Nazi rally, that one, the Libertarian Party, I forget the exact details, but we found this out on stream literally like 2 days ago. Apparently, the reason the Mises Caucus was created was because they were dissatisfied with the condemnation of the Unite the Right rally issued by then representatives of the Libertarian Party. They were literally like, yeah, you know, we don't like the fact that the Libertarians condemn Nazis. Let's fix that. And so the Mises Caucus was born. And since then, there has been a protracted effort. How's it spelled again? Yeah, you got it. You got the spelling. A protracted effort on the part of the Mises Caucus to make the Libertarians really far right, basically just hyper Republicans. Donald Trump went to the Libertarian National Convention just a few days ago to pathetically beg for their vote right before losing. And somebody else won. Folks, Chase Oliver. I didn't think it'd play audio like that. That's fine. That's okay. Chase Oliver, an actual libertarian. I'm not oh, this is the C-SPAN link. I thought it would be like a more pointed link. That's okay. I'll find the real video while I explain. Chase Oliver is running on the promise of ending the genocide. I mean, my man's like forward claim as a presidential candidate is the right, you know, being to the left of Joe Biden on foreign policy. Here, Al Jazeera English, thank you. Give me some kind of useful clip, I beg of you. I beg of you. C-SPAN wasn't doing it for me.
I will be the only national candidate. RFK won't, Joe Biden won't, Donald Trump won't, but I'm saying right now, end the genocide, ceasefire now, and support peace around the world. No more proxy wars.
He's an actual libertarian. My understanding is, and you're going to have to forgive me if I'm incorrect on this one, my man over here is actually progressive, like pro-gay, pro-trans, pro-LGBT. I mean, he's a libertarian, you know. I wouldn't go to him if I wanted, like, you know, do you want Medicare for all or whatever? I mean, he's probably not big on government spending, but he's like an actual libertarian, you know? In fact, and he did an interview with Reason TV just a day ago. What does the libertarian candidate actually believe? Since it says candidate, my guess is that this was filmed before he actually won, right? Article on Chase going over his LGBT views. Meet the gay presidential candidate going up against Trump and Biden. If only it was me, folks. If only it was me. The presidential candidate self-describes as armed and gay. It is me! He is me! Phenomenal. He's also anti-war on drugs. Look, I'm not saying this guy's perfect, okay? He's just actually libertarian. That's my point. He's actually a libertarian. Like a genuine... Isn't that the guy you debated? No. The guy I debated, the last rep from the libertarian candidates, that guy was from the Mises Caucus. What is his stance in Israel-Palestine? If you were paying attention 2 minutes ago, in his acceptance speech, he said, end the genocide. So you can infer from that, like, come on, hey, wake up! It's Friday, people! Come on, you've got one more fucking day to go. You've got senioritis on the workday? No, the guy in the pic, scroll up. Was it this guy? It might have been Austrian school libertarian economist. That means Nazi, right? It was this guy. All right, well, there you go. Well, there you go. Okay, we got it. All right, we've debated the guy who's been photographed with the prospective Libertarian Party's presidential candidate. Look at that. We're really making waves. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, his belief in LGBT issues, voiced his support for drag artists, you know, but again, like libertarian leanings. So Oliver believes schools and parents should decide on whether to allow books and LGBTQ plus issues in school libraries rather than the government. So rather than it being like, I am in favor of X, it's more the government shouldn't meddle in X. Which, hey, come on, okay? We're grading on a curve here. Okay? Degrees of freedom, man. We take those. Nah, we take those. Look, the Republican messaging on this is 100% authoritarian government crackdown. Come on, let's take it. It could be a lot worse. All right, we'll take those. Thank you. We're not in a position to not take those, okay? We are, in terms of LGBT rights prospectively in this country, we are a homeless guy who gets his, like, nourishment by sucking butt sweat off of park benches, and a guy is handing us a $5 bill, and we're like, sorry, we only hold out for 20s, you know? I don't want to carry a bunch of paper cash, you know? I don't want to fill up my wallet with like, cheap bills, you know? Like, we need to understand, we will take the $5 bill. Why are we sounding positive? We don't want votes pulled from Dems. So this is a complicated issue. I do not believe that he's going to be that much of a spoiler on the Dems. At most, I think it might be 50-50 Dems Republicans. However, a couple of pointers here. This is a signal that the Republican Mises Caucus effort to take over the Libertarian Party has not succeeded. A ton of money has been spent on this, you know? A ton of money, a ton of time, a lot of effort has been spent on, well, let's like take these kind of independent, conspiracy-minded libertarian voters and turn them into, you know, a little bit, maybe a little bit national and maybe a little bit socialist. Who knows who's keeping count? And it's failed. In spite of everything, Donald Trump's performance, he did not win, not even close. And he was booed and lambasted at the Libertarian National Convention. It was a desperate bid that didn't pay off. He said no more proxy wars. Do you know what that means? Don't you know? NPC Porky, I know. Thank you. I know. You went like, hey, Vosh, did you know this libertarian doesn't want to support Ukraine? I know. You don't need to narrativize it for me. Do you know what this means? I know what this means. He's not going to win, man. This is representative of a victory of genuine libertarianism, real libertarianism, admittedly American libertarianism, but okay, over just full out Republican backing like Nazism, you know? It's a sign of weakness in the GOP. The GOP should have been able to take this. For the amount of effort and money that's been demonstrated, how is he on labor rights? Why are you poo-pooing this? Guys, he's not winning the presidency. It's a third party. Shut up. Jesus Christ, he's a libertarian. Fill in the blanks, man. You gonna vote for him? The whole point here is that it's a loss for the GOP. I'm not coming out here saying like, this is the new guy. This is the new guy. We're going to make this guy win. Come on. He's a libertarian. I mean, if you want, he's got a whole goddamn video talking about his here. Let's do it. Timestamp hunting. Let's go. Campaign message and strat. Let's find out. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this. I can see how some people might infer that based on what you've said so far. That's because you guys are so black and white. You're so black and white. There is no black and white. Black people and white people don't exist. Your coup failed. It's all shades of brown, man. Everyone's just like different brown. Look, go on Clip Studio Paint. Look in the fucking color swatch.
Fantastic. Well, you as the 2024 Libertarian Party candidate, you're going to kind of be an introduction to libertarianism for many people who've had minimal exposure to it. Maybe the first time they've even heard
this is Reason TV. We've seen their stuff before. We've repped their stuff before. I would like to see some of this interview. Okay, I'm sure they don't mind.
A libertarian or talked to one. If you're out there talking to people in person, what is the message in a minute or less that you want to get out to these voters?
By the way, not gonna lie, let's give credit where it's due. Are we not repping something adjacent to Better Call Saul energy with the loud suit, the yellow tie, and his face structure is a little bit Saul Goodman? Come on, you're gonna fight with me on this, but I feel like I'm right. The happy face pin sells it pretty well too. I feel. Bob Odenkirk, that is the actor who played Saul Goodman. Yes.
The message in a minute or less that you want to get out to these voters?
Yeah, well, for me, it's not the first time that I've had to do this. I ran for Congress in the city of Atlanta for the first time that a libertarian was ever on the ballot there. So I got to introduce this concept to many people. And my elevator pitch is pretty simple. If you're living your life in peace without force, fraud, coercion, theft, or violence, your life is your life, your body is your body, your business is your business, and your property is your property. It's not mine, and it certainly is the government's.
So there you go. That's a genuine American libertarian prospect there. And I've got plenty of problems with American libertarians, but it's still a far cry from the overtly authoritarian Republican Party, you know? The Republican Party does not believe in freedom from government overreach. Is he pro-abortion? He literally said, like, your body's your body. He's 100% pro-choice. Yeah.
And the Libertarian Party, which is the third largest third-party alternative for voters who don't like Republicans or Democrats. Also, this year, RFK Jr.'s independent candidacy will be a factor since he'll draw in some of the protests.
Again, this was filmed before the win. It had to have been.
Vote. What is your plan to cobble together a coalition and win over some of these disaffected voters? What are some of the issues you'll be emphasizing?
Well, it's about targeting the most likely voters that we can bring into the camp. When we asked libertarians across the country to tell us...
Read the Intercept article. It's all black. We do need a third party. We need a Hail Mary. We have lost. The Dems are dooming us to endless war. Jumfall. It's not all black, because if you go to your front door and open it and walk outside, you might notice, you might have to walk a little bit depending on where you live, you might notice that something is green. I want you to find the first green thing that you see, and I want you to go lay down in it, and I want you to go touch that shit. I'm banning you for a day. This is like an unforgivable level of doomerism. You will not infect, okay? Like this is like the guy who turns around to the rest of the group, his hand shaking to reveal that he has a zombie bite in his arm, okay? I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry. Look, you've been great with us this entire time, but I can't sacrifice the well-being of the entire group. We have to survive out here. You're getting put out back, man, to touch grass.
When they first became a libertarian, no matter what age they are today, the most common answer was between the ages of 18 and 29. That tells me we need to reach out to the next generation of those who can come into the Libertarian Party. And if we're going to do that, we're going to speak to the issues they care about. There are college kids on campuses all across the country who are asking for a peace candidate, say for a ceasefire in Gaza. I am one such candidate. There are kids all over this country, young people rather, who see the cost of living increasing. They go to the grocery store every 2 weeks for the same amount of money, and they see the less and less filling up that cart. And so we have to speak to the inflationary problems that we have that are devaluing our dollar. Because when those kids are raising kids, rather, we're going to have real issues where we have massive inflationary policies, huge mounting debts and deficits. And of course, the warfare state all over the world.
By the way, him referring to college students as kids is a phenomenal, not like I'm not a pedophile signifier right there. This is like the opposite of a dog whistle, you know? This is, when Republicans refer to like a 15-year-old rape victim as a woman, you know? Like, this is the opposite of that. He's like, oh, 24-year-old, yeah, like a kid, you know? Phenomenal. Really repping the best of the Libertarian Party. It's a green flag, yeah.
World that destabilizes and shifts opinions away from the United States favorability because we're exporting our values with bullets and bombs and not through markets, voluntary cooperation, and freedom.
I mean, well, to what degree is that actually the case right now? I mean, a lot of people would counter and say America's actually exercising a fair amount of foreign policy restraint right now. What do you make of that?
I don't believe anything that we've had since...
His discussion of inflation, though, is essentially him blaming government spending for... Are you telling me that a libertarian who won the Libertarian National Convention's candidacy for the presidency is anti-government spending? Oh.
9/11 could be called foreign policy restraint.
9/11?
We still continue to have our troops on the ground all over the world. We continue to inject ourselves into politics all over the world. And it's up to us to do that via diplomacy and actually free trade and not use that via militarism, opening bases, pushing our soldiers or our military intervention via foreign aid onto other nations.
I shouldn't be that mean to you guys because I recognize that this is like a character we basically never see, because people who there's such a huge difference between IRL American libertarians and internet libertarians, because basically every internet libertarian that you've seen is a right-wing grifter who's too afraid to admit that they're a fascist, or they're like deliberately underplaying it because they're trying to bait people into believing that they're like civilly progressive when in reality they're anti-government intervention because they want to make it legal to like fucking not serve food to black people at a restaurant, or they're people who have been like given money to be a grifter, right? So admittedly we rarely cover people like this, you know, and I understand that that's a bit of a novelty, you know. So this guy's the real Ron Swanson. Okay, there. Is that the reference point that we need for people in chat to understand what this guy is? It's like Ron Swanson, okay? Ron Swanson, like, who had a lot of faults in what he believed, but there was like an underlying sincere belief in freedom from government intervention. That guy, like he wasn't like his political beliefs were like made fun of in the show, and it was kind of a cartoon a character of a libertarian, but like there was an underlying sort of dignity to it that is not represented in the Republican Party. Like that? Is that enough? Is that good? Okay.
We need to have a more peace-based foreign policy that's rooted in diplomacy. People begged for that when Obama ran in 2008. He said, I'll meet anyone without precondition. And that won him a lot of votes. And then he abandoned those principles. I'm telling people, I'm the real deal.
How is this guy not a fascist who's too stupid to understand? Because he hasn't said or done anything even remotely fascist. What do you mean by fascist? By fascist, do you mean what has he done or said? There's nothing even remotely fascist about his behavior here at all. Adherence to private capital, I guess. Like that's kind of the case for like 99% of the world at the moment. So yeah, I don't know. Can we please dial it in? I feel like you guys are being very internet right now. You're being very Reddit, and I need you guys to dial it in just a little bit because I can't like I know I'm choosing to respond, but you guys like he's just an American libertarian, but like a real one. Okay, like that's it. Like that's it. Just we can leave it at that. You know? Just listen, okay? Listen, okay? A white cisgender male is speaking. Listen. Do not speak.
Deal. I will actually seek to use diplomacy as a tool before I use the warfare state as it exists.
I noticed that you call it the genocide in Gaza. Is that accurate?
We see as many people being carpet bombed as we see. It seems to be that it is on its way to removing an entire population from the area. They keep shoving people further and further into Rafah, into southward. And the Israeli government has said multiple times, we would love for these people just to leave and never come back. And that's what they're trying to do, is shove these populations out of where they have been. And we actually need to see better solutions that aren't rooted in carpet bombing people, killing tens of thousands of innocents. I understand October 7th was a horrible thing that should never have happened. And Israel would have a right to respond. And if they had done so in a way that was like a scalpel and not like a sledgehammer, we would have much more support for what they're doing. But too many innocent people have died, and we must see a ceasefire today.
Crazy how this guy is just like dabbing all over Biden right now. It's fucking insane. Also important, he comes across sincere. Yeah, everything that I've seen from this guy, because I saw his acceptance speech and I saw some other stuff of his after he won a few days ago. It seems to me like he's pretty sincere. I mean, you can never like fully know, but I don't get the impression that he's like if he was just in it for the clout, why wouldn't he be with the Mises caucus, right? Like that's where the money is.
But that's a little bit different than saying that we believe that the Israeli military ought to, end their offensive in Rafah and use a different strategy. Genocide is very different than critiquing the actions of the military. What constitutes a genocide? Generally, when genocides are happening, the military that's conducting the genocide isn't warning civilians to leave the places they're sheltering in advance of that. Right?
If you listen to the rhetoric from the worst of the far-right elements of the Netanyahu government, you will hear genocidal rhetoric out there. And I say I support those in Israel who are actual voices for peace, who understand that these actions that we are...
Guys, she's asking the questions to prompt answers. Are you guys serious? It's Reason TV. Can we... You guys are making me look bad for YouTube chat right now. You really didn't... Is it because she's a woman? Is that why are you all doing the thing where like a woman makes an obvious joke and you're all like, wow, women are fucking stupid, huh? Because you didn't get it? You guys are taking a minute. You're taking a minute, okay?
Taking will destabilize the region, make it more likely to go war with our Arab neighbors, and make it less safe to be the average Israeli out there. So I'm going to support the voices of peace within Israel and ask that their government respond to those voices instead of continuing this militarized policy, which is killing far too many Gazans. We must see peace.
I'm going to take us to a little bit of the internal controversy
this
within
is what
the
I
Libertarian
want to
Party, because
hear.
I was there at the convention. There are some deep divisions between various factions, and the faction that opposed you does not seem happy with your nomination. I brought up this tweet earlier from Dave Smith, who says that this weekend we retained control of the LNC while re-electing Angela McArdle, who's a phenomenal chair, and put on the best convention in the party's history. Unfortunately, we lost the big one. That would be the presidential nomination. And there's no getting around that. Yesterday, I congratulated Chase in person and on here. Of course, I can't endorse or vote him, just as he wouldn't for me. He doesn't represent me and my camp or the things we stand for. What do you make of Dave's reaction here, which kind of speaks for a group within the Libertarian Party? And is there anything that you feel you can do to build a bridge back to them?
Dude, it's genuinely crazy how overt everything with the Mises Caucus. I can't believe that I never saw this in the times that I looked into them. Be good, chat. A caucus within the Libertarian Party that promotes paleo-libertarianism. Where have we heard that type of terminology before? More radical, founded in 2017, mainly in opposition to Nicholas Sorok's position as party chairman. Here, history. In August 2017, a feud between the LNC and the Mises Institute occurred in the aftermath of the Unite the Right rally. LNC chairman Nicholas Soark criticized Mises Institute president Jeff Deist for an article he wrote for the think tank weeks before the rally that positively mentioned the term blood and soil. And the most libertarian concept possible, the idea that one's blood is directly tied to their homeland. Oh, yeah. And criticized Tom Woods for defending Murray Rothbard's paleo strategy. Other members of the LNC accused the Mises Institute of being white nationalist and said there's no room for bigots and racists in the party. Then they made the Mises Caucus. After being accused of being neo-Nazis, they made the Mises Caucus and continued to do that. And since then, like, they have been trying desperately to make the Libertarian Party like them. Again, please understand here that when I say, like, they're Nazis, I mean that in the sense of, like, they were formed in response to a feud that happened because the leader of the Mises Institute used the term blood and soil positively and was not, like, against the Unite the Right rally. Like, it's like, come on. Have you ever wondered why so many Libertarian Party Twitter accounts are openly Nazis? Have you ever wondered that? Like the New Hampshire one or whatever? Like every once in a while you see one of the state Libertarian parties post some like absolute fucking coal. Oh yeah, here's Libertarian Party New Hampshire. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for libertarian children. Really subtle, guys. Really, oh man, really putting that high white IQ to use. With that incredibly subtle dog whistle, man. That's, oh god, so smart. It is time for the final solution. And it says move to New Hampshire. That's its own dog whistle or what, but you get it, you get it. You know, like, that's the New Hampshire one as well. Like, there's a reason these guys are showing up, you know? The Mises-controlled New Hampshire state affiliate made controversial tweets calling for legalizing child labor and repealing the Civil Rights Act. (2022) takeover of the LNC. Mises Caucus board member Angela McArdle announced her intention to run for party chair. She won the election with over 69% of the vote. Nice. The caucus also won all the leadership positions in the LNC, thus completed the takeover of the Libertarian Party by the Mises Caucus. Remember what I said? And despite all of this, they just got blown out by this guy, Chase Oliver. Isn't that interesting? That's the reason why I'm positive about this. This whole thing was like a Nazi effort at co-opting a third party on behalf of the Republican Party, because the Mises guys love Trump, even though Trump is an open authoritarian who's like, you know, not at all in line with libertarian values. Again, like, you get it. They backed Michael Rechtenwald in the 2024 Libertarian Party presidential primaries. And how did he do again? He got 2.4% of the vote. Wait, no, this isn't right. Non-binding preferential vote? Where's the actual one? Oh, God. Here we go. Yeah, in the non-binding preferential one, Chase Oliver got 6 contests won, but only 8.8%. Okay, I don't know how that one works. All right, I don't know how their system works for that. Here's the actual one. State by state. What on earth? So, despite getting so few votes, he won because he won in the most states? So he won even though he got this many fewer votes, but all this guy's votes came from California? 98.6%. All right, you know what? Whatever. Look, libertarian math, okay? – . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
there are two things I want to say. Dave kind of spoke for me in that tweet. The truth is if Dave Smith had run for president and been nominated, I would absolutely endorse him and be voting for him to secure ballot access for the Libertarian Party in Georgia. We need to have a presidential candidate to get over a certain amount, or we lose that in my home state. And there are other states like that. I would be supporting the party and supporting the candidate if he were the endorsed candidate. I would have been endorsing Michael Rectenwald because I want to secure ballot access. I would have been doing that, and I was ready and prepared. If the VP candidate I did not prefer had won, I would have walked on stage, shook his hand, and said, "Hey, we may not agree on everything, but we're going to have to figure out how to work together for the party." I'm glad that I got an amazing running mate in Mike Termott, who's ready to be a full-fledged partner for Liberty in this case, and I'm ready to keep working for that. Now, 2 years ago, we also had a contentious convention in Reno, Nevada, and I was on the losing side of nearly every one of those votes. But guess what? I stayed involved. I didn't quit. I didn't leave. I committed myself to the principles of liberty. And I understood deep down, no matter who our candidate in 2024 is, they'll be less likely to create wars than Joe Biden or Donald Trump. They'll support reducing government more than Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or RFK or any other candidate. So I would hope that personal differences or hurt feelings.
It's at 1.2 times speed.
Does not draw them away from liberty. I'm extending my hand telling people, do not run from this party. Stay committed to our principles. We will disagree on some things. And if you don't want to talk about those things, that's fine. Let's talk about the things we do agree on. Ending wars, ending the taxation that
This is the one we want. Okay, yeah, because it's done by delegates, right? So over here we have the kind of rundown. It's like they do like eliminations. They eliminate the person with the least votes with each one, right? So Art Olivier, Joshua Toad Anderson, RFK Jr., and Charles Balley all got eliminated in the first round, with Michael Rectenwald, that's the Mises Caucus candidate, doing the best. And then you get rid of Jacob Hornberg, Joshua Smith, Lars. And in all of these runoffs, Michael Rectenwald does the best. Like, he does the best in the first, second, third, fourth ballot. His numbers keep going up and up and up. But then right here, after you eliminate Mike Termott, who is the guy that I debated, this lunatic, up next, Michael Rectenwald gets eliminated, just narrowly, 5% difference. Huh. So I think you can fairly say then that the real vote we're looking at is the final one here, where you have Chase Oliver up against none of the above. Because once you eliminate Michael Rectenwald, right, like that's the last count, right? It's the final guy versus how many are none of the above, of which 36.6% of the participating delegates voted none of the above, and 60.6% voted Chase Oliver. So I'm guessing the 36.6% here are just Nazis. That's my guess. Oh, yeah, that's the Hitlerite caucus right there. Interesting, huh? Substance Soda, I think that the benefit of him potentially pulling voters from the Republicans is outweighed by the fact that this represents a massive defeat for the Republicans and the Nazis that work with them. And by the way, I just want to say, I do still think that Chase Oliver has a decent chance of pulling away some Republican voters. I know it's crazy to think about, but there are people who vote Republican who are in this like weird camp of like, don't touch my guns, don't touch my taxes, and apart from that, nah, and those are their first principles, and even a progressive libertarian candidate is a preferable option. There are Republicans who are, that's a lot of Texans. I mean, that's a lot of like New Hampshire, Vermont. Like, you know, there are plenty of states out there where you've got like this large contingent of libertarian, independent, kind of like, I own 16 guns, you know, I love my trans son and my AR-15 kind of people. And for those people, I mean, Chase Oliver is obviously probably a pretty big advocate of gun rights. I haven't heard him say that. I just know that he is. It's possible. Do you think the libertarian Nazis will switch to Trump? Code mode, that's the point that I'm making. I think they already would have. I think that the libertarians who are just libertarian in the sense that they're trying to co-opt the LNC, I think they already would have voted for Trump. And I can evidence that claim as well. Just a moment. I can evidence that claim very well. The Mises Caucus did not exist in... hold on. did not exist in 2016. And in 2016, the Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson ended up winning 4.5 million votes, 3.3% of the popular vote. That is a huge amount for the Libertarian Party. That is massive. And were it not for the way things worked out, they would have been an effective spoiler to the Republicans. You know, that's pretty big. That's large enough to have a significant effect in multiple states, right? But in 2020, Joe Jorgensen, who I didn't think was that bad, received 1.8 million votes, or 1.2% of the national total. What's the difference? Well, the Mises Caucus didn't exist in 2016. It did in 2020. My thoughts are the so-called libertarians, who are really just Nazi plants within the LNC, already just voted for Trump in the general election. I don't think they voted Libertarian, and I think that's why the Libertarian Party did so poorly, because Joe Jorgensen was not the Mises Caucus's pick. And even if she was, they still want Trump to win, because this whole thing is that's the whole point of a plant, right? You're trying to pull them over, not like embolden the Libertarian Party, right? So I think that, I don't know, I think there's some math here. Oh yeah, for sure, Comrade Champ. Threat of mad fascists because Libertarian Party elected a Libertarian. The Libertarian Party just nominated a candidate who supports open borders, is pro-choice, and calls himself a trans ally. Complete disaster. My face when the Libertarian presidential candidate elected by the Libertarian National Convention is a Libertarian. Absolutely brutal. This guy's a Nazi. I mean, I can see what he's complaining about. Christian above all else? Yeah, probably. There's like 200 million Christians in America, probably more than that, actually. And basically none of them are Nazis, but if they're on Twitter and it's in their bio, they are. What does this guy think libertarianism means? I mean, he just wants to co-opt the party. Like, again, this is why I'm happy this guy won.
It affects each and every one of our pockets. Getting the crisis of immigration solved through less government, not more overly intrusive government. There's a lot of areas where there's division. But what I'm willing to do is sit down in the room and talk with people, extend my hand, just like I did in Reno and at every convention I've ever been to, whether I've been on the winning side or the losing side. Liberty is too important for personality. We have to get out there and support one another and the principles that we are fighting for as a party. And I will continue to do that as a lifetime member of the Libertarian Party. And I encourage others who may be upset after an understandably long convention day. We all were in the hall all day long. Feelings and tensions were high. Take a breath, go home, spend some time with your family, and realize that our principles are more important than a few policy disagreements. Deep down, we are all libertarians.
Nice. This guy seems like a fairly competent politician. Libertarian outreach in big tents.
All of that. I just do wonder, though, whether libertarians have, like, one thing that the Mises Caucus sort of speaks to, but I think in a terrible way, because they're just like...
Wouldn't it have been better if he was crazier than Trump, all Pulse and others to his side? Do you guys listen to me when I talk, or is it just, like, when I respond to somebody in chat, you guys realize that all of you can hear what I say and, like, internalize it, right? Like, I'm not pulling aside that one person in chat and whispering in their ear. Like, you can all hear what I say and listen to it so that you don't ask me the same questions over and over. I don't know if you've just gotten in chat. Actually, I'm going to find out with you. Hold on. I'm going to find out with you. I'm going to see. I'm going to see. You have been here this entire time! I'm twisting your nuts.
Edgelords. But one thing that they, I think, seem to have almost tapped into is the fact that there's a lot of people loosely culturally on the right who aren't really keen on Donald Trump and who want a different type of foreign policy, who have strong anti-war bona fides. But they understand that, like, some of these people are winnable to the libertarian cause, whereas historically the Libertarian Party has not had nearly as much success currying favor with the left and winning over voters from the left. But especially, like, right now we see a very weird, fractured Democratic Party. I mean, do you legitimately think libertarians are going to be most successful when we try to message to both left and right at the same time, or a little bit skewed left versus messaging and trying to win over people leaning to the right. I think about so many like normie traditional religious conservatives I know who are not MAGA types, you know?
Okay, I'm going to try to visualize this because you people are going to drive me insane, okay? We can't know at any given point in time how many libertarian voters are basically just like Republicans, okay? If we could imagine that the libertarian voter base is a big amorphous blob of people, not all of whom consistently vote libertarian, but are all kind of in the general orbit, okay? What the Mises Caucus is an outside force that is trying to pollute more and more and more of that group of people to make them vote Republican. The goal here is not to make a strong libertarian party. It's a tumor, and they're trying to take these voters and make them useful to the right by moving them over to Trump. Remember, Nazis love Trump. Like, all of them love Trump, you know? So we can't know exactly how much of the vague libertarian base has been made subject to that influence, that astroturfing. All we can really do is look in from the outside and infer what the internal party dynamic is based on factors like, say, who wins their vote. See? So it's an indication that the Mises Caucus has not polluted as much of this vague voting base as I was worried they had. You know?
And I think there's also a lot of people on the left side of the spectrum that aren't hardcore Joe Biden fans either that want freedom. And the truth is I came to the Libertarian Party from the Democratic side of the aisle. I was an anti-war Democrat marching in the streets to oppose the fascist George W. Bush war machine. And then when I found out that war machine also existed within the Democratic Party, I looked for an anti-war party elsewhere. I got brought into a tent, and my philosophy of anti-war was connected to the greater philosophy of liberty by a great guy named John Mons, who took the time to sit with me and say, if you're anti-war, you should be pro-liberty, and here's why. And so I want to allow these people to come into our tent, to hear our message, and let's connect their anti-war view with the greater picture of liberty, wherever you come from, whether it's eminent domain on your farmland being taken to put a pipeline, that I heard about in South Dakota, where they're taking, or carbon capture pipelines through people's property without their permission. You know, I think
I agree it's a bit too small.
Liberty come here. If it's immigration reform, if it's taxes, if it's COVID lockdown and mandates, if it's the warfare state, whatever your idea, let's get you into the tent and let's connect it with a greater philosophy to build a whole new generation.
Okay, this guy beliefs are pretty much my own. I'm not a socialist, I'm a liberal, but I'm very progressive on social issues. I mean, Kenneth the Allen Cook, being a progressive isn't enough. I'm very sorry. This is, in fact, the socialist community. We will be repossessing your toothbrush. You know, we'll onboard the liberals, but don't get too proud about it, all right? You know, you have to be you can't be progressive while not being economically progressive. Like, there's no such thing as socially progressive, economically conservative, or whatever. That's not a real thing. That's a fake thing. It's made up. Anyway, I think we get the size of this guy. You know, I've yelled at chat enough. My throat hurts a little bit. You know, this guy's probably not going to get that many votes in the general because it's such a polarized election, and a lot of libertarians are going to be voting for Trump anyway, but I don't know. I like the cut of his jib a little bit. At least he seems to give a shit, right? Like, at least he, like, seems sincere, and he's not a victim of or a product of the astroturfing. Isn't that person just the average American liberal? The average American liberal is ideologically incoherent, and their positions on any given issue will range from those more resembling a fascist or a socialist, depending on how much it personally inconveniences them. A liberal can, with like no feeling of whiplash or inconsistency, no doublethink, have like a fascist prescription on border policy and then a socialist prescription on pharmaceutical companies. There's no, it's, you know, most people are incoherent. Over, under 3.5 million in the general? Under, easily under. I'm just afraid his pro-Gaza rhetoric is legitimately going to pull many naive Democrat voters because he's not a genocide defender. Is that like a naive voter, or is that somebody who feels bad about voting for a person who's doing a genocide, you know? Don't quit with the pessimism, guys, okay? Can we, like, your concerns are noted. Vosh has a fascist prescription on chat. Well, it's not fascism if you guys are literally not people. Proud Boy's leader calls all anime fans lolicons. The community note Also, you can just say Gavin McInnes. Like, he's not the Proud Boys leader. You know that, right? He hasn't led the Proud Boys in years. I like the community note. Although some Japanese media contains morally debated content, there are no credible sources linking consumption of anime to pedophilic tendencies. This community note was made by the maddest, like, paleocon lolicon in history, you know? This one was, like, typed out furiously. This motherfucker typed it up with 2 hands. That's how mad they were. Was he the founder? Yeah. What is that source? I'm not clicking on this source. Are you fucking kidding me? Didn't he resign because the Proud Boys were too insane for him? No, he's just like grift shifting, you know? Why did he leave? I never understood that. Got too hot for him. He wants to stick stuff up his ass behind a desk. He doesn't want to, like, get involved in street fights. It's easier to pose as a tough guy if there's a 0% chance of you actually getting hit in the head with a bike lock by a college student. Also, he's probably a Fed. Also, he's definitely a Fed. I mean, his replacement, Enrique Tarrio, literally was a Fed, like a very, very, very lucrative informant for the FBI. So, you know, it's like, hey, I don't know. Being a Fed is kind of like being a requirement. It's a requirement to doing this kind of work. I don't know what you're talking about, Anonymous 75. Tarrio still got sentenced to 22 years. Was it really 22? Yeah, 22 years in prison, 36 months of supervised release by U.S. District. Huh. His is the longest sentence to date related to the Jan 6 attack in the Capitol. Man, imagine being that good of informant and still getting thrown in the slammer for that long. That's crazy. Have you ever realized how strange you sound at one-time speed? Have you ever realized how it might be fucking up your ability to understand or relate to human beings that you consume all your media at, like, hyperspeed? You know? The most I'll ever go is 1.25 if I'm, like, trying to learn something quickly or get through something. But, like, do you watch me for the news? Because if so, you could probably have a better time watch the Majority Report. They go through more news in any day than I do. Is there not, like, a comedy or personality element here that you think might be slightly compromised by the fact that the pacing of everything I say is getting mangled by your ADHD sensibilities? I don't understand. I don't get, like, speeding through media to consume. If it's a purely informational thing and you're just like, literally like, oh, I have to listen to this lecture, like, da-da-da, or like, oh, I'm trying to catch up on this news broadcast or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. You're just trying to get the information. But if you're there for entertainment, I have no idea. No idea at all. I don't speak particularly slow. There are people who speak a lot slower than me. You know, I'm not, what's that guy's name? The kook? The guy who's very anti, not Mearsheimer, the guy who debated Destiny, Tempest. That's like genuinely illness. I don't understand. Finkelstein, yeah, Finkelstein. That motherfucker, you can listen to at 2 times speed. It's fine. It's fine. Mr. Broccoli. Mr. Bonelli. Whenever I try to remember his voice, I remember Gilbert Gottfried for some reason. Does anyone? Mr. Bonell. Mr. Fettuccini. I can't do his voice, of course. He's a legend. He's, you know, living out his eternal reward in heaven. It's kind of crazy how we're never getting Gilbert Gottfried back, you know? Like, no one's ever doing that voice again. Fucked up. He died, Mandela effect. Did you miss that? The whole internet was fucking warning him, man. His last speaking role was on Smiling Friends, which I think he would have loved. Gilbert Gottfried was fucking nasty, dude. He was a nasty boy. He loved his nasty jokes. You know, like his final role being like God on Smiling Friends. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Dude used to do any cameo request. Yeah. Gilbert Gottfried hitting a giant bong. Yeah. My question is, how did his parents know that he'd look like a Gilbert? That's a good question. They really called that, huh? They really knew what they were doing with that one. Random question, but are you planning a debate soon? Fucking absolutely not. Are you planning to like hit your head against a wall anytime soon? Have you seen what the environment out there looks like? Jesus Christ. Trust me, you'll know. Yeah, I debate chat every day. A company is releasing an AI streaming service that will allow users to generate their own TV shows by giving prompts to an AI program. The vision is to be the Netflix of AI. You know what? Why not, man? Literally nobody asked for this. Nobody wants this. There's no consumer demand for any of this. And we're getting it anyway. Create pilot. Runtime 6 minutes. Okay. Literally, who would use that? Who's funding this garbage? It's not, no one will use it. All of this is being done for investor hype. This is just it's the .com bubble. It's the NFT bubble. It's the crypto bubble. It's the same thing. The technology is irrelevant. It's a vehicle for speculative investment where gullible investors try to, like, every investor tries to get in at what they think is the like beginning of the bubble, and they hope they're not in the middle or end of the bubble. And like nothing actually happens. Some people make a lot of money. Most people just lose money. That's it, you know? Yeah, it's the same as the Gulf State vanity projects like Neom or The Line. It's the same as, like, there are so many things that fit in this category. Nobody's life is improved. It's just more and more and more. Like, you know, eggs now cost, what is it, $100? I don't know. I don't buy eggs. You know, groceries are going up in price, and meanwhile, a significant amount of the money in our economy is just circling the drain in this, like, speculative investment whirlpool, or it's being taken offshore. So insanely wealthy people whose names we're never going to know can hoard it tax-free elsewhere. How much could an egg cost? Like $10? I saw a 3-pack of sticky notes for nearly $7. For me, my inflation counter is a lean cuisine, because I remember back when I started to care about my weight, which was like, what, 3-4 years ago or something. I remember that lean cuisine, I could get them for like $2.29, and I saw at the grocery store today they were solidly about $5. They were like $5.70 or $4.79. Sorry. So that's insane. You know, that's like double the price in like 4 years. Of course, it also varies depending on what store you go to, but yeah. The West has fallen. It kind of has, yeah. Definitely. Peace tea is up 169%. Yeesh. Wow, 3 times the price of here in Brazil. Well, everything's cheaper in poorer countries, right? Sorry, I don't mean I don't mean to disrespect my Brazilian viewers. You do know you're poorer than us. Red meat is very expensive in Turkey these days. Red meat should be more expensive everywhere. Hey, Vosh, before I have to go, I want to ask you if there are any resources on LGBT that you could use that I could look at in my spare time. Watch Steven Universe, the movie, and Steven Universe Future to get like a good intro course on modern homosexuality. Maybe She-Ra, Princess of Power as well. That might also get you like a good run-in. And I thought Amphibia was kind of juvenile, but maybe that would also be a good lead. And the Owl House, yeah, the Owl House. That's big with the, you know, big with the homos. Oh, play Baldur's Gate 3. You know, your first run will probably take like 60 hours or so, more or less, depending on your skill level. But you'll get a good feel for it. If you come out of Baldur's Gate 3 feeling heterosexual, I don't even know what to tell you, man. I don't even know what to tell you, frankly. I don't know what you're on about. How the heck is Amphibia gay? The gays seem to like it. I don't know. Has-Been is very big with the gays. Has-Been's big with a lot of people, but frankly, I don't really associate with Has-Been hotel gays, just to be clear. That's like a very specific... These are people who think they were born in the wrong generation because, like, Invader Zim wasn't on TV when they were growing up. They're like, man, I wish I could have been watching Invader Zim when I was a kid, and they're a freshman in high school, so they're referring to how they were in 6th grade. This is not like, who knows if these kids even are gay? Like this could be a phase, all right? You know, it used to be the gay phase was in college, but now because of woke, you know, there are people online having their gay phase, like they're like 14 and they're like, well, actually, no, I'm a militant homosexual, and like, who knows, right? You're a fucking kid. Do your homework, you know. Go sit down and do your what are you doing in freshman high school? Calculus? Is that too much? Is it algebra? What are you doing at that age? I don't know. I don't have a kid. I don't have like a reference point. I don't remember what I was doing. Trig? You're doing trig in freshman? Just algebra? That's geo? Probably geometry. Yeah. Geometry, algebra. Do geometry, you know? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. See, it's not that hard. Yeah, hey, come on. Trig is like 10th or 11th. I mean, it's not like it matters to me. I don't fucking remember any math, you know? The only thing that I remember is statistics class, and all that was like, you know, regressive analysis, and I don't remember that either. So, ooh, there goes my education. Has-Been Hotel, Danganronpa, and Gacha games have done immeasurable damage to the minds of young queers. No young queer these days is playing the Danganronpa games, okay? That is fully like my generation of annoying gay people, or maybe like 5 years after. That's not a current young gay people. That's like a different, you know, maybe Gacha game, sure. Has-Been Hotel is like a recent thing, but Danganronpa, that's like a, you know. You have no clue. It's so many. I have young queer friends. Why do you have young queer friends, huh? Gacha life has ruined the minds of young people. Yeah, probably. That weird emo incest game has done more damage than those. I guess the, what is it? The Coffin of Lilo and Andy? No, the Circus of, what is that? What was that thing called? The thing everyone was really annoying about? I don't even fucking know. I don't even know what it's about. Like, people say it's incestuous or whatever, and then a bunch of people were canceling it over that. I don't get it personally, because you can have a game where the characters are incestuous and it's like, oh, well, that's probably not good. Like, hey, did you know in a video game you can play as like a murderer pretty often? I don't know about that one, Chief. It's more a matter of like, in what way does it glorify it? But there are games that glorify murder and no one gives a shit. Postal is like, hey, like GTA, literally, like we're doing the moral panic thing, kind of like, did you know GTA glorifies murder? Yeah, dumbass. Yeah, boomer. Fucking does a kick, shove it, ollie in front of them. Yeah, fucking grow up. And then it's like, did you know this game glorifies incest? And it's like, oh, you know, everyone out there with the torches. I don't get it. I mean, I haven't played it. Maybe it's like really bad. Because you could be touchier with that than you could with the murder thing. The murder thing's abstracted. If it's actually like a big narrative about how you should fuck your sister, then I could see people taking issue with that. You know? Have you seen Pornhub? Yeah, speaking of eulogizing incest. Isn't it really obviously about abuse? That, I mean, I don't know. I haven't played it. It's mostly about abuse. It's just, maybe it's just like no one's jerking off to that. This is the problem. This is because of how people's brains are right now. This is the problem. You can't have any media that depicts sexual abuse that has its ups and downs. In reality, most of the time when a person is in a sexually abusive relationship, it's not 100% bad, it's like 99% bad. That's how abuse tends to work, obviously. If it's just like a nonstop steaming pile of shit all the time, then it's kind of an obvious decision on whether or not, you know, it's like a cycle of abuse. That's why they call it the cycle of abuse, where it's like you've got the bad stuff, but then it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do the bad stuff, da-da-da, like I'm going to be good to you actually, and then it gets worse again. Like, that's how it is. And the problem with that, like in any media that depicts it, is because you guys are actually fucking brain damaged, you will just jerk off to all of it, right? So my guess, I'm just guessing because I haven't played it, is that the Circus of Lilo and Stitch, or whatever the fuck that game is called, is like mostly about abuse, but you also have a hot sister who flirts with you. And then everyone is like, holy shit, I would put up with all of that abuse to have a hot goth e-girl sister who flirts with me. And it's like, man, you can't do shit with you people. This is like, you're lost, man. because you just fetishize it, you know? You people are like, oh, step on me, I don't care, whatever. I don't think you would want, you know what? I think a lot of you are giant pussies. I don't think you can handle it. I don't think that you have the game. Oh, I want to be killed by a big tall mommy. No, you don't. You're afraid to go outside. You like thinking about it, but you need to be an adult about this and reflect on the fact that there is in fact a gap between your desires and reality and what you can actually do. If you wanted to go get someone to kill, you could probably do that for like in 5 minutes in any major American city. Come on. It's time for the war to end. Oh, are you telling me that me like extensively talking about my feelings on an incest meme internet game that I haven't played and know nothing about, you're telling me that's not more important than the president of the United States issuing like a decree for the end of a, okay, no, fine, oh sure. I mean, I can end this bit if you want. If you're so insistent on getting to like, well, I don't know, like the end of a, good Lord. The game heavily implies the sister who's into the incest is a horrible person. No one's ever going to get that, man. No one's ever going to get that at all. Like not even remotely. If you make an abuser hot, everyone is just going to be like, I would put up with that abuse, actually. They don't even have to be that hot. They just have to have like the sultry eyes, and your average like permanently online degenerate who jerks off 3 times a day is going to look at the sultry eyes and go like, no, I would ruin my life just to like, I don't know, like be subjected to that. No, you wouldn't. And also get some fucking standards, man. It's not cute. Making your whole person, unless you're Faith Girl Cell and you have like a very specific kind of brain damage that makes you both that and funny, like quit, don't make like you being a submissive your entire personality, okay? Like, come on, get like genuinely get a hold of yourself. You're a whole fucking person. You've got so much going on, you know, don't like subsume all of your identity with the like, oh, did you know I want someone to grab my hair with a fuck? Wow, that's that's great. Congratulations, you know? Like this is like the I go to Starbucks of sexual identities. Maybe mix it up a little bit by being like a diverse, sort of like wide-ranging individual with many hobbies and interests. Maybe impress me a little bit. Yeah, I've been on Grindr. Did you know you could do anything to me? Wow, great. I haven't heard that one before. Come on, get a personality. You know? Quit looking at any sultry-eyed bitch in the games and being like, oh wow, I would do anything. Come on. Have some self-respect. All right, we're moving on. Chatters aren't people. I know that. But you can't tell them that because they get off on it. Most trans women have faith brain damage. Yeah, keep in mind I said that the brain damage includes the ability to be funny about it. Remember that part? Yeah, I see you comedy. I see you comedy fucking chuckle fucks on Twitter. Hey everyone, did you know I want to be treated like a dog? Here's my collar. Wow. That's fucking incredible, man. Have you ever baked a sourdough loaf? Have you ever like gone on a walk all day and like done a bit of a bar crawl, like 1 beer per place? A little bit? When was the last time you met with a group of friends? Is there a local sports team you care about? Come on. Did you know I like sucking dick? Wow. 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 Fucking God. Okay. Yeah, these crusty bitches will say they're dogs. They won't even go on walks. It's insane. You're being mean to the low self-esteem people. Maybe they feel liberated about being a dog. I'm just saying, don't be fucking boring. Like, have some self-respect. Like, have an opinion that it goes beyond. Like, again, don't let your entire identity be subsumed by being a fucking bottom, okay? Being a bottom is uninteresting, genuinely. Could you imagine how insufferable it would be if there were literally, like, dozens of people in your immediate online friend circle whose entire personality was being tops? I really want to hold someone's head while I fuck their throat. Feeling full of cum today. Want to treat a girl bad, but in like a loving way. Like, okay, like immediately you would understand how fucking tedious this gets, okay? Just add to it. Just build on top of the base, you know? Like, just like have additional, like construct a whole, being a bottom should be a part of your identity, not like the entire fucking thing. Jesus. Yeah, cocky one, boing boing. That's all I hear. Doggy asshole one, boing boing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on. Chat, we're moving on. I'm not engaging any further in this. Oh yeah, also Joe Biden proposed a ceasefire plan. What's up, man? Boy, do you look old. Ooh, boy, you look old. I feel like if the chin divot gets any deeper, it's gonna split up to through the bottom of his jaw. What's going on here, man?
It's time to begin this new stage. For the hostages to come home, for Israel to be secure, for the suffering to stop. It's time for this war to end, for the day after to begin.
What's that one evergreen tweet? Joe Biden's always tweeting stuff like, "Hey, who's this president guy? I'd like to have a word with him." It's time for this to end. Man, that's crazy because I've been following your foreign policy, strategizing for 7 months, and I have to say that's not the impression that I had been getting.
This new proposal has 3 phases. 3. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza.
All right, I think I got...
Release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners.
I don't agree to this. I think they should keep the women and the wounded. How many fucking hostages are left? Like 5? Jesus, man. There's a finite number of them. It's not like... Here we go. This was posted an hour ago. Israel has now offered a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire. Oh, Israel has offered this. Okay. Good to know that the people doing the genocide are the ones setting and, dictating these terms. I would hate to believe for a moment that this was like, I don't know, an initiative pushed for, backed, or in any way, shape, or form constructed by us, the most powerful nation on earth. But no, please. Go right ahead. Whatever, man. Phase 1. A complete ceasefire, withdrawal of Israeli forces from populated areas in Gaza. Populated areas? So you're just going to have, like, the IDF milling about? And the Gaza Strip is pretty small, man. They're not even going to disappear over the horizon. You're going to be able to stand on top of the roof of the one remaining 4-story building in Gaza City and look around and see a bunch of IDF tanks right outside the population centers. Release of some hostages and some remains of hostages. Bit grim, but okay, probably realistic. Palestinian civilians can return to their homes in Gaza. My brother. What homes? What fucking you can listen, this is 40 acres and a mule, baby, except it's actually like 1/100th of 1 acre and the pile of rubble. What home? It's gone. It's all gone. You just lay under the rubble. Find like a big flat rock that you can use as a blanket, you know? A surge in humanitarian aid. We love our nice committed, you know, we like our commitments, don't we, folks? Phase 2, a permanent end to hostilities. Okay. Exchange for the release of the remaining living hostages. Israeli forces withdraw from Gaza. What? What designates the difference between phase 1 and phase 2? What length of time? This is useless without, you could extend the step of phase 1 for a long time, and then it's just you know, he said 6 weeks. It doesn't say 6 weeks here. He just said, I'm reading text, man. Phase 3, major reconstruction plan for Gaza. Final remains of hostages are returned to their families. Okay. So wait, what? For the entirety of phase 2, Hamas just holds on to a few more crumpled, dead, limp hostage corpses? What? No, man, we're on phase 2, not phase 3. You have to hold on to those, corpse bags for a little while. Okay. Masagui, where's the article that you're pulling that from? Give me the article. You're just quoting me. What is that quote from? You?
There are American hostages who would be released at this stage, and we want them home. Additional, some remains of hostages who have been killed would be returned to their families, bringing some degree of closure to that terrible grief. Palestinians, civilians would return to their homes.
My homes.
And neighborhoods in all areas of Gaza, including in the north. Humanitarian assistance would surge, with 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day. With the ceasefire, that aid could...
Remember, guys, we're voting for this guy so that we can see how... This is a science experiment. How do you think he's going to sound 4 years from now? You know? December 2028. How far can we push this, huh?
Be safely and effectively distributed to all who need it.
Why did it make that noise when I
Hundreds
looked
of
for that?
thousands of temporary shelters, including housing units, would be delivered by the international community. All that and more would begin immediately. During the 6 weeks of phase 1, Israel and Hamas would negotiate
where's the link?
necessary arrangements to get to phase 2, which is a permanent end to hostilities. Now, I'll be straight with you. There are a number of details to negotiate to move from phase 1 to phase 2. Israel will want to make sure its interests are protected. But the proposal says if the negotiations take longer than 6 weeks for phase 1.
So here we're sourcing a tweet, but, you know, it was linked in chat, which means it's probably true. You know how it is. The speech blindsided Netanyahu, who was not updated on the speech or its contents. It is based on an Israeli proposal that the entire cabinet voted on a few days ago. Did they all vote in favor of it? However, Netanyahu did not want it to go public because it included a willingness to end the war. Right, because Netanyahu wants an indefinite war. Biden went public with it to stop a change in position that would come with Gantz leaving the cabinet. Okay. If this is true... this is a little bit red-pilled. Basically, a private cabinet vote that's liable to change if Gantz, who doesn't approve of Netanyahu's strategy, leaves. Biden's taking it now, and he's like, oh, you said yes, it counts, so that he can say, so that he can be like, oh, this is coming from Israel, actually, you know, like this is actually straight from them, so you can't be mad at me. Israel has offered a roadmap. Yeah, okay, if that's actually true, then this is a pretty neat little snipe. I will say this, you know, we're not revoking our position on this. Biden's still a genocidal monster for what he has done. However, in this moment, a pretty smart snipe. A good little play. We'll see if it actually... I mean, if Netanyahu's really blindsided by this, then this could potentially be a destabilizing for his regime. Because it means that it's going to be much harder to do the indefinite war thing. Okay, all right, okay. We'll take this. I guess we'll take it tepidly. You know, we're accepting like a $1 bill that has some poop smeared on it. This does make sense from Biden's perspective. Because as I've said many times before, and I'm happy that reality is affirming my theory a little bit, Biden is a hardline Zionist, but he is not happy at all about what is going on in Gaza for a variety of reasons, most of them, I assume, being electoral and geopolitical, not really ethical. So the... you know, it makes sense to me that he'd be trying to find a way to end things. It's just funny he would do it like sniping a plan like that, you know? This is kind of like the institutional equivalent of secretly recording Netanyahu, and then you get him on a bad day and he's like, I wish that the war would end. And then Biden like records it and plays it and is like, in line with Netanyahu's will, we are ending the war. Or yeah, kind of like malicious compliance a little bit, you know? We take those.
The ceasefire will still continue as long as negotiations continue. Then phase two, there'll be an exchange for the release of all remaining living hostages, including male soldiers. Israeli forces will withdraw from Gaza. And as long as Hamas lives up to its commitments, a temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal.
Yo! Dude, he's scared. Netanyahu won't agree to hostage release deal unless it pulls well for him, Israeli families say they were told. First of all, you told the families of the hostages that you would only accept the release of their loved ones who have been kept by Hamas for 7 months if it was politically expedient. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's so, like... That's so unnecessarily evil. This is like a Disney villain shit. Like, you didn't have to... No, it doesn't benefit you to say that. That's just purely a liability. Okay. I mean, you're having your Joker moment. Why would you admit that? Nobody asked you to speak. No one, not one single soul. Netanyahu and speaking to the family members of hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th. Well, we'll see. The reason he's doing this, I assume, is because he's scared. I mean, with the ICC potentially after him on account of the arrest warrants that may or may not actually be approved. You know, in Israel, once the war ends, I don't want to overstate my case. I kind of feel like he's worried about a lamppost. If the war ends, you know, he's not really well liked by the people there. So I don't know, like, he can't go out of Israel, can't stay in Israel. Doesn't that literally just make him look worse for Israel? Yeah, no, like I said, it's senseless evil, and I don't understand why he would say this. I have no idea. Scroll down to the 6th paragraph. Well, thank you for pre-reading. What Biden did also makes him look really bad to the Israeli public. Who gives a fuck about these? Who gives a fuck about those Hitlerites? You fucking kidding me? You could pull anything with the Israeli public. You'd get at least 40% of them saying that they would eat ice cream out of the skull of a Palestinian child. Those people are fucking crazy. One, two, three. He said the only way to make Netanyahu... Oh, you're saying it makes Bibi look bad. Oh, God, yes. The only way to make Netanyahu do this is to make him understand that it's going to be politically good for him, that if he sees polls that say the Israeli public want to see the hostages home more than it wants the continuation of the war, then he will make a deal. Is he actually going to make it that straightforward? Like, continue the war, kill Palestinians for funsies, or get the hostages back, ostensibly the reason you're doing all of this to begin with? Is that like that's laying it so plain and clear? Like, yeah, none of this was about the hostages. I know we knew that, but he's literally juxtaposing them. Well, guys, we can get the hostages back, or we can keep killing people. Like, all right. I thought we were doing this for the hostages. That's what you've been saying for 7 months. We've never found out how many hostages are left. It's like less than 30 now, I think. If Netanyahu insists on continuing the war, even at the expense of the hostages, in this direct a fashion, I wonder if he would... Is there an Israeli equivalent of a vote of no confidence? At what point does Bastille get stormed? Like genuinely, how low can an approval rating get? This is crazy. IDF says it took control of operational control of Gaza-Egypt border discovered tunnels. It's not surprising at all. The Israeli government made a conscious and deliberate decision to sacrifice the hostages, said Hostage Family Forum in a statement on Friday. The hostages in the entire state of Israel have been taken captive by those who choose political interests over their national and governmental duty. Huh. I mean, that's true. Just, you know. But past a point, Netanyahu's coalition might actually try to oust him themselves. Like, a lot of this is going to get blamed on him, even if they voted for it as well, you know? Egypt tight-lipped over Israeli takeover of Gaza buffer zone. Wait, they took the buffer zone? Not just the border itself on the... Wait. I thought they took the Gaza side of the border, not the buffer zone. Cairo seeks to keep lid on public anger and avoid escalation as IDF moves into the Philadelphia corridor in breach of 1979 peace accord. I didn't know they... What the fuck? Oh my god! Dude! Why? What do you gain from... These people are insane! Do you get the feeling that, like, do you get the feeling a little bit that if Netanyahu tried to end the war, there would be like groups of the IDF that would want to keep it continued and would just like maraud around the Gaza Strip killing people? Like, fuck. Okay. How wide is it? The Philadelphia corridor is 14 kilometers in length. How wide is it? Are we talking like DMZ wide? Are we talking... I don't have a good... I don't have a good like mental map on the size here a little bit. Yeah, see, it's right here. I just didn't realize that Israel had moved its soldiers in 8 miles. Well, that's how long it is, but how wide is it? You know? You think they might be trying to incite a wider conflict? I genuinely believe there is a possibility that there are groups within Israel's military and cabinet where they are like, hey, if we provoke a war with Egypt, we really can get a forever war. About 100 meters? Okay, gotcha. And an Egyptian soldier was just killed, too. Okay, all right, okay. Let's get back to Biden. We're kind of peppering in a lot of information here. All right. I didn't know about the Philadelphia corridor. I didn't know they'd gone that far. Do you think the Israel/the IDF are actually delusional to think they can single-handedly take on the entire Middle East, even with the U.S.'s support? I mean, fascists are delusional, but I don't think they want to take on the whole Middle East. I think that there are probably some insanely, like, militant groups within the IDF who probably genuinely would want war with Egypt because it would legitimize sort of a continuation of the conflict, you know? Does this mean Israeli troops are within Egyptian territory? No, it means they're in the buffer zone. They're crossing a DMZ. Hamas says it looks positively at what was included in Biden's speech. Yo! We got the Hamas approval? Hamasling Biden? Fucking warrior of Muhammad? Breaking, Hamas issued a statement saying it looks positively at what was included in President Biden's speech, mainly his call for a permanent ceasefire, the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip, reconstruction, and an exchange of prisoners. The movement affirms its position of readiness to deal positively and constructively with any proposal based on a permanent ceasefire, complete withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, reconstruction, the return of displaced all the place residents, the completion of a serious prisoner exchange deal if the occupation declares its explicit commitment to that. This might be their only chance. Right? What Biden is doing right now might be their only chance to end things without Israel just fully suffocating the entire Gaza Strip. You know? I don't know what else could really crop up apart from this being rejected by Netanyahu for not being politically expedient, and then Biden, like, I don't know. What happens if Netanyahu rejects this? Does Biden just go like, oh, okay. Like, does he stay as meek? Because the thing that I'm wondering is, this is a pretty big power play from Biden. This is not a minor move. This is not a meek thing to do. So it seems incongruent to me that he would go for a power play like this with no follow-up if Netanyahu just says, no. I don't know what that would mean, really.
The cessation of hostilities permanently, end of quote. Cessation of hostilities permanently. Finally, in phase 3, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who've been killed would be returned to their families. That's the offer that's now on the table, and what we've been asking for. It's what we need. The people of Israel should know they can make this offer without any further risk to their own security because they've devastated Hamas forces over the past 8 months.
Like, there are some statements that Biden has made that are just so... Like, listen to this. This is the Reuters article covering the total of speech. I know there are those in Israel who will not agree with this plan and will call for the war to continue indefinitely. Some are even in the government coalition. This language directly states that there are members of the Israeli government who are opposed to peace and a solution, which is a much more direct language than he's offered before. Before it was like, you know, we couldn't arrive at this, we couldn't arrive at that. Now it's, I know that there are those in Israel who just want blood. They've made it clear they want to occupy Gaza. They want to keep fighting for years, and hostages are not a priority for them. Whew, see, that's... He's cooking a little. Like, this is a pretty serious step up in, like, the severity of his language. It's very pointed and direct, and it blames them. Well, I've urged leadership in Israel to stand behind this deal, despite whatever pressure comes. We can't lose this moment. Each phase would last 42 days. The proposal has a higher likelihood of success than previous ones. Well, that's nice.
At this point, Hamas no longer is capable.
Wait, sorry. Gvir and others have threatened to oust Bibi if he agrees to a ceasefire. Yeah. This is what I mean. Like, there are members of the Knesset who would... God damn. There are members of the Knesset who would try to, like, dump Netanyahu, like, blame it all on him, use him as a scapegoat, even though they were fully along for the whole thing. And then, like, Ben Gvir, the mega, hyper, super duper lunatics, who would sacrifice everything and everyone if it meant killing more Palestinians. Like, genuinely, Ben Gvir is pursuing this with the fervor of, like a fucking, like, SS guy. Like, it's insane. He is fucking insane. Just like it's rarely this black and white, but sometimes these people are genuinely cartoon villains, you know? Which one of these is Ben Gavir? This one over here. The the guy with the shirt collar spread. I'm sorry. There's Ben Gavir literally has a statue of Baruch Goldstein in his home. Yeah. No, we know how bad Ben Gavir is. I just like that's one of the reasons why Netanyahu seems so non-committal, because Netanyahu is like Hitler, but there is a double Hitler around, and the double Hitler has a surprising amount of power. He looks like Peter Griffin. He does look a bit like Peter Griffin, yeah. There's always a bigger Hitler, yeah.
Carrying out another October 7th is one of Israel's main objectives in this war, and quite frankly, a righteous one. This is truly a decisive moment. Israel has made their proposal. Hamas says it wants a ceasefire. This deal is an opportunity to prove whether they really mean it. Hamas needs to take the deal.
There we go. See, pointed language, saying like not just, oh, we can't arrive at a conclusion, but rather like you guys need to do this. You know, you are like the obstacles to peace on this.
For months, people all over the world have called for a ceasefire. Now it's time to raise your voices and demand that Hamas come to the table, agrees to this deal, and end this war that they began.
This is very interesting to me, and I would really like a real official confirmation that this is a plan that was sniped from a cabinet meeting. Because here, this is from the Times of Israel, my favorite newspaper. Oh, look, see, they're covering this live as well. A senior Biden administration official briefing reporters on U.S. President Joe Biden's speech earlier today says Israel was able to make the hostage deal proposal that Washington is pushing Hamas to accept because of some of the success they've had in degrading Hamas's military capability. Now, hold on. If we are assuming that what we heard is correct, and Biden shocked Netanyahu by presumptuously adopting a version of a plan that the cabinet had privately agreed to, but not wanted to go public, think of how this sounds. A senior Biden administration official briefed reporters on the speech saying Israel was able to make the hostage deal proposal, but they didn't. America did. That Washington is pushing Hamas to accept, but we're not. In fact, as far as I can tell, it seems Hamas is already like pretty happy with it. Quote, because of some of the success they've been having in degrading Hamas military capability. Guys, if it is true that this deal was sniped, this is like picture perfect diplomacy. Think about it for a second. Hey, you know, we're so happy to hear about your plan, Israel, and we're happy to hear you bring it to fruition. I bet you were only able to even put this plan forward because of all of the military success you've been having lately, huh? Said by a Biden official. You understand the pressure that's being put here, right? Like, operating on the assumption Netanyahu doesn't want to go through with this, you know, you're raising him up a little bit, right? But like in a disingenuous way. Like this is pretty snaky from the Biden administration, which is good. That's politics, right? You understand what he's doing here, right? Yes, when Biden said Hamas must accept, he was talking to Israel and about Israel, not to Hamas. This is all about Israel, making it seem like it was Israel's idea, saying it's only possible because of their big military success, saying that Hamas must accept this deal. All of this is meant to put pressure on Israel and on Netanyahu. It's, yeah, a good salesman assumes the sale. Exactly. It is okay. Again, I don't want to give credit. None of this vindicates President Biden for any of the behavior of the past 7 months. However, in a vacuum, in this context, this is a pretty good one. This is a good one. This is a good game of chess. I think this is a look, considering the buffoon shit that I've been seeing from the administration for the past 7 months. This is like a sudden lock-in moment, okay? The admin is locked in a little bit. I really want to see it pay off because then it would end the conflict. At least it would, you know. We'll see. This is their black flash mode. Exactly, yes. I hope they follow through. I hope they follow through. I hope this works. If Netanyahu rejects this, either because he is afraid that it won't be received popularly, or he's afraid about getting ousted by Ben-Gvir or whatever, you know, I hope that Biden has a follow-up to put more pressure on. Did Netanyahu say anything about this? The only thing we know, apparently, is that he's surprised by the plan. I haven't seen an official statement from him. We have the rundown of everything from Times of Israel. I mean, we can see. Hamas supports Joe Biden, is voting blue. I don't know why my scroll wheel is fucking here. Obama endorses the proposal. Okay, great, great. Thanks, Obama. Thank you, Obama. Hamas only got Israeli proposal. Again, Israeli proposal, not American proposal. Last night meets all Hamas demands with, quote, very minor adjustments. Do you understand how presumptuous this is in a good way from the Biden admin? If this was the Israeli proposal, why is America announcing it? Yeah, like, think about, like, America's the one, and like, America comes out the gate shooting. They're like, hey, we agree with your plan. Hey, Hamas, you better agree to, hey, you'd be an idiot not to accept this. Hey, and it's like, yeah, like, come on. We know what's happening. We know what's happening. This is great. Give me something to hope for, man. Give me something to hope for. The fourth subsection of the BBC live feed has an Israeli statement from 2021. Got you. 2, 3, 4. Netanyahu released a statement. He says he has authorized the Israeli negotiating team to, quote, present an outline for achieving the release of all hostages. However, the statement goes on to say the war in Gaza will not end until all goals, including the elimination of Hamas's armed wing and organizational capacities, are achieved. The exact outline proposed by Israel, okay, so he's continuing the artifice, including the conditional transition from stage to stage, allows Israel to maintain these principles. So he's saying that he agrees with the proposal because the way it's structured allows him to accomplish the pre-existing goals. You know what that tells me? That tells me he's sweating a little bit. Because think about it. Think of who he has to appease, right? He can't back out of this, but he also can't jump all the way into it, right? He's basically saying like, yeah, you know, I think this is a fine deal. He turns to Ben-Gvir because it will allow us to continue the operation to destroy Hamas. Turns back to camera. You understand, right? That's just my guess. I'm not psychic. You know, I'm not magic. Yeah, this kind of says it all right here, doesn't it? Biden wants to make Hamas and Israel an offer they can't refuse. Except the content of Biden's speech was saying that Israel was the obstacle in the path to peace, you know? The language from mass media is going to put pressure on Israel too. I mean, the title from Politico, Hamas no longer poses major threat to Israel, Biden says. Yeah, ooh, man, I really want this to pay off because it would be like, it's just a good play, man. I want to see good plays get rewarded. I want something good to happen for once. And, you know, I don't want history to wipe its hands clean of the blood that Joe Biden has been complicit in wringing from the Palestinian people. You know, none of that anger goes away. However, it would be nice if it would stop. That would be good. You think the IDF will ramp up the killing knowing they may have to stop soon? Possibly. If the IDF openly acts in defiance of an outline of a plan that the Israeli government itself agrees to, that would lead to a pretty good pretext for American condemnation. You know, if Israel itself, if Netanyahu and the war cabinet are like, okay, we're doing this thing, and the IDF does another, that would give even Biden like the necessary pretext to condemn the renegade IDF elements. Whereas up till this point, America and Israel have both been like double thumbs upping pretty much everything the IDF does in the West Bank. Or sorry, not the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip. In the West Bank, America has been more critical, not that it's amounted to shit. So would the ICJ case just stop? No. Which article, Skynet? Indefinite war in pursuit of an unidentified notion of total victory will only bog down Israel and Gaza and further Israel's isolation in the world. You know, I have to say, in the little summary that we saw from Guardian News, they left out some banger quotes, huh? Like the whole speech was 20 minutes, you know, I thought a lot of it would be waffling. We saw the 4-minute clip. It seems like they left out a lot of banger shit. The Guardian's editors need to be fired. Are we going to get manufacturing consent in the other direction now? We are, at this moment, manufacturing consent in the opposite direction. That is to say, we are manufacturing the perception that Israel drafted this plan, that this is Israel's plan, blah, blah, blah. We're just like going along with it, and we're being presumptuous in our, advocacy for it. It's good strategy, you know, it's... How did the news orgs get the memo to switch sides? They didn't get the memo to switch sides. News orgs in America, at least, have been more critical of Israel for months now. You know, there was an initial wave of, you need to hold this line, but that's faded over time. You know, it's not literally like a deep state doctrine or whatever. It's just slowly it became more and more indefensible, and it was more and more socially permissible to walk against it. This is unrelated, but Obama's been saying Israel's actions have been fucked since at least November last year. Yeah, Obama's not a hardline Zionist like Biden. Unlike Biden, Obama wasn't alive when Israel, the state, was found. It was founded. Did you see that Israel threatened the ICC prosecutor's family? Yes, and I covered it too. I guess there's been more information leaked on it. Israeli spy chief threatened ICC prosecutor over war crimes inquiry. Very nice. Doing some, like, 1950s CIA shit. They missed this banger by Biden at the end of the speech.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir?
All right. So it was a good press conference overall. You know, Biden's not been impressing us very much. He's been pitching a bad season. He's had a good press conference. We can say that. You know, we're not so partisan that we can't acknowledge a good performance. Oh my God. He's got such a good smile. He won off that smile. Yeah, we would never be partisan here in Vosh chat. You kidding me? In the Vosh pit, even? We make that an emote? It wouldn't look good as an emote. No, I know about it, quote that. What build are you taking to the Elden Ring DLC? Will you stream it? I will stream the Elden Ring DLC. I'll try to do it when it releases. And I don't have like a build I'm going to take there, man. I'm just going to use the items that I find. Like whatever. I need to do another Elden Ring run so that I'm at level 120. Level 120 is the multiplayer meta, right? That's the point where people usually stop for matchmaking. It's 120, right? Wasn't it like 80 before? 120 to 150. I'll go up to level, is it 150? 150-ish? I'll look up what the meta level is. I'll make a new character. I'll race through the main story. I've beaten everything except Millennia, sorry. Soul level 1, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have any trouble. Stream Fallout New Vegas? No. Yeah, Lies of P is pretty great. Do you think Biden would have won if he had run in 2016? Yes. Over Hillary? 100%. Yeah, 100% easily. Yeah, yeah. I think that Biden would have trounced Trump in 2016. Which build will you play? Like Strength, Dex, Faith? I don't know. Whatever. I'll probably go into it quality build just so I can try out the most items possible. Who cares what the multiplayer meta is when it's purely for PvP? Because it's a good, like, line to stop leveling at, so I enter the DLC not over-leveled. Or not under-leveled. Vosh, I'm new to the drama scene and covered the N-word drama with you, Destiny, and Hassan. It's here if you want to see. From DramaTube, get your news. I'm going to do an executive decision here and just purely on a vibes basis ban you instantly. Good luck with your channel, and I'm wishing you the best of luck. But you could not have come in here with a worse pitch. But I hope that you do well, you know, to the capacity that you are a good person, which, considering the fact that you started a channel and built it around drama rather than like adding anything to the world yourself, makes me, you know, it's possible that's not the case, but I want to be hopeful about people. You know, the drama YouTubing community, not exactly known for being replete with morally well-aligned individuals. I was actually very merciful there. That was a 30-day ban. Surely you respect the hustle, right? No, no, really, not at all. Drama YouTube is a fucking cesspit. Are you kidding me? Holy, that video is pure schizo. Is it? I'll ban YouTube, Benjamin. Hustle, I mean coming in to shill themselves, not being a drama YouTuber. Well, shilling yourself in a streamer's chat is usually actually a really bad way of promoting yourself because it makes you seem really annoying. It's usually better to have like organic ways of making yourself known than to just go like, hey, rep me or whatever. Like, how can I rep someone? I don't know what the quality of your material is. You know, I haven't like engaged with you organically. I can't sit here and watch a 20-minute video to get an assessment of your quality and then go like, you know, thumbs up. I click the video, it's just him cringe screaming, not sure it's like a child or something. Oh man, my vibe assessment was like pretty good then, huh? Super edited and dubbed clips of streamers and music and shit. Okay. Well. All right. Neat. The problem that I have with headlines like this is that I'm still pretty sure the average American doesn't understand how wealth held in stocks actually works. Hundreds of millions wiped from Trump's fortune in wake of conviction. All that means is that the Trump Media and Technology Group like had a bad stock day. That's not like it's not like he had money in a bank account and then money was removed from the bank account. You know, those aren't it's like every day there are fluctuations in the stock market that leads to billions of dollars altering in the wealth of like Elon Musk or whatever. You know, it's not necessarily a fuck you, The Guardian. It is interesting to me, though, that the value of Truth Social, or I guess of Trump Media and Tech Group, would go down following his conviction, because I felt like that would be the sort of thing that would energize some of his more lunatic meme stock investors. I covered it, Eastern Bloc. I covered it, Bad Dragon Love 69. You guys should watch my videos. Are you subscribed to the Vosh Pit, the second channel? You know, a lot of stuff goes there too. You have videos? Let me straighten my shirt out. What's the difference in your main channel and the Vosh Pit? Honestly, like in practice, not tremendous. Slightly more self-serious on the main channel, maybe? Vibes? What about it, your boy coming? Not my channel. All right. Did you guys know that something cool happened? No, BB Tonator, I did not see that. But it's not surprising to me necessarily. Cool thing? We getting too much good stuff? We should get some good stuff sometimes. Apparently they cured diabetes. No, really, like they actually cured a guy. Just one, you know. It's not like you could just instantly apply this to every single person with diabetes, but hey, you know. In a promising development for millions with diabetes, researchers in China have reported a potential cure using, you guessed it, cell therapy. The study, published in the journal Cell Discovery, details the successful treatment of a 59-year-old man with type 2 diabetes. Woo! The patient, who's been battling the disease for 25 years and relied on daily insulin injections, underwent innovative cell transplant in July 2021. The procedure involved creating lab-grown replicas of insulin-producing islet cells found in the pancreas, which were then transplanted into the patient. The treatment proved remarkably successful. Within 11 weeks, the patient no longer required external insulin. 11 weeks, that is insane. Over the following year, he gradually reduced and eventually stopped taking oral medication for blood sugar control. Follow-up examinations confirmed a restored function in the patient's pancreatic islet cells, allowing him to remain medication-free for over 33 months. While this is a single patient case study, experts view it as a significant breakthrough in cell therapy for diabetes. Professor Timothy Kiefer, a researcher at the University of British Columbia, called it an important advance in the field. Further large-scale trials needed to confirm the efficacy and safety of this approach before it can be used widely as a treatment. That's pretty cool, huh? So is this only for type 2? I don't know. Oh, what am I, a doctor? I mean, I'm reading the article. You're reading it with me. That's pretty cool, huh? Huh? A lot of researchers were doubting this, but optimistic for context. I mean, yeah, obviously I want to see it replicated. I mean, apparently you can see significant results in just 11 weeks, right? I mean, that's pretty incredible. Lamau, the International Diabetes Foundation has such an unfortunate acronym. We stand this IDF. Yeah, Quoteth, can I see some news of that? Hold on. U.S. Pharma Diabetes Import Sanction? Yeah, can I get a report on this? I saw a tweet where somebody said, hey, immediately American pharmaceutical companies wanted to sanction this and not get it in the US so they could keep making billions off of insulin. Does that sound to me like something they could do? Yes. Is it something that I know for a fact they have done? No. I think I just saw a tweet. There's nothing to sanction yet. This is one test, right? This might be a problem in the future, but they would do it, though. They might, but let's get mad at it when they actually do it, you know. A lot of this has been born from mRNA research that started with COVID. Yeah, I don't know the whole process. It's just cell therapy seems like it's going to be a solution to a lot of human issues, you know? We're still years out from a widely available product. For sure, for sure. Type 2, Gamer. Is cell therapy just stem cells? Yeah, right? Isn't that, like, generally that's what cell therapy means? It's like, you know, let's grow a replacement, then slap it on in there. That's what we're talking about? In a nutshell? Yeah, in a nutshell, you know. I want cell therapy to cure my borderline of PTSD. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure that's in your brain, and they can't slap a new brain in there. You're your brain, you know? That's you. Though it could also be a hormone thing, right? I mean, insulin's a hormone, you know? So using aborted fetuses to cure disease? No, stem cells are not made from aborted fetuses. You know, you can get stem cells from a variety of places. They're not like, you know. How do you support getting stem cells from abortions? What are you all on about? Can't we... First of all, even if that was what they were from, I'd still be okay with it. But second of all, isn't this just like something to rile up right-wing anti-stem cell research Christians? This is like George Bush era talking point. You all saw the South Park episode? You can get stem cells from all kinds of places. Why wouldn't you want fetuses to be used? Why are you obsessed with talking about the fetuses? Like, who cares? Like, it's like, why bring it up then? Are you telling me you're anti-using aborted fetus? I don't know. Why are we bringing it up? You can get stem cells from the spine, if I remember right. I think so, yeah. You can get them from, like, fetuses, but you can get them from your body. Your body has stem cells in it. It's just that those stem cells are given a purpose, and then they stop being stem cells when they decide to grow into a certain thing. Bone marrow, too? Yeah, no. Have you ever considered using fetuses as vegan meat? Oh, you guys are so fucking edgy. You're so, oh my god. This shit goes hard in the playground, you know? Hey guys, I love you, you love me. Let's get together and kill Barney. Oh my god. You guys are getting all the like pooled together candy in your friend group. You fucking children. Come on. Jesus Christ. Embarrassing. Like, people coming to me for, like, hey, yo, cell therapy cured somebody with diabetes too, and people in chat are fucking, I got shot by the FBI. You're all acting like children. Come on. I understand the embarrassment. Yeah, can you guys not embarrass me? You know, I take a risk by having you guys on screen. There are streamers who have chat not on screen, you know? Will you talk about the pandas? China to send 2 new pandas to National Zoo. Honestly, I want the pandas to die off because I'm tired of hearing about them. Like, there are like, what, 10 pandas and none of them will fuck? Like, give it up. It's a failed genetic line. I'm tired of hearing... No, I'm tired of hearing about it. If the pandas weren't a, like, national animal of China, then they already would be gone by now and no one would give a shit. There are so many different types of... Do you care about the sun bear? There are so many different types of bears out there that, like, are suffering. And, like, no one cares about polar bears, and that's actually, like, a serious environmental... Polar bears would fuck if you gave them the chance. They just can't fuck because they're all, like, stranded on little tiny icebergs that are drifting around the melting Arctic, you know? Red pandas are uber cute. Yeah, red pandas are great. They also have sex, so they can, like, naturally propagate their species. This is good panda news. A zoo in China painted dogs to look like baby pandas. I'm okay with that. Outrage over imposter pandas. Who could be mad at this? So they actually tried to, like, sell these as baby pandas? That's so funny, man. This is Chinese innovation. This is why they were able to, This is why they were able to cure diabetes, you know? I think they're adorable. Hopefully the dye they use don't, like, hurt the dogs, you know? Hopefully the, you know, it was just like a... Hopefully the process of dyeing them was just, like, mildly irritating. Oh, visitors are not being misled? Wait, then what's the outrage?
They have long fur. But how do the dogs feel about it?
This is something that's kind of being forced on the animal.
Are you fucking kidding me? Shut the fuck up. Are you fucking... This is only... You only care about this because it's China. It's a zoo! Zoos are already factories for abuse. Are you fucking kidding me? They don't choose to have their diet. They're dogs! They don't choose anything! They're in a zoo. Every animal there lives in a cage. If it was pandas, like regular pandas being forced to live in a cage, you'd be like, oh yeah, the pandas chose this. What are you talking about? Dying animals, fur is probably the least abusive thing that's ever happened in a zoo.
For the sake of human entertainment.
It isn't the first time a Chinese zoo was mixed up in an animal
That's
controversy.
a sun bear, right?
Last year, Angela, a Malayan sun bear, went viral after it was caught on camera walking on its hind legs. Social media exploded, with some claiming it was a person dressed up as a bear, which was later debunked.
This isn't the first time there was a bear controversy in the 1.4 billion person nation of China. One other time, a sun bear looked weird. I mean, that's just what sun bears look like, and they're pretty smart. It's probably imitating the humans that it's looking at. You know, like it's waving.
Actual pandas are an incredible sight, lovable and playful, helping to boost zoo tourism.
Stop with the panda propaganda, man.
Around the globe. The San Diego Zoo shared pictures of 2 giant pandas expected to arrive this summer, Yun Chuan and Xin Bao, a highly anticipated import after 3 giant pandas departed from the Smithsonian Zoo in D.C. last year.
I love them. They're so cute.
Now that panda-sized void even felt across the world, with dogs being used as unlikely stand-ins.
Zoos are there to educate. Zoos are there to inspire. Zoos are to promote conservation. They're not there to promote...
No, they're not. They're to get you to buy, like, $6 churros. Don't fucking... Come on.
Painting domestic animals with colors to represent...
Who cares, man? Like... What... Their enclosure looks fine, by the way. I don't know. They're like 2 little dogs. They're playing with each other. They look happy.
And wild animals.
They're so cute. The zoo staff told us overnight.
They can't even take it serious. They just like the management was like, yeah, we need you to make China look scary or something. To pretend that this is a moral outrage, and then they get to the ladies doing the presenting, and they're like, aw. But that's fraud. No. They said they're not being misrepresented. They literally, it's just like, haha, panda dogs. Like they're not lying and saying it's little baby pandas.
That the panda dogs arrived at the zoo before May 1st, China's Labor Day public holiday. They're still there. The crowd size...
They eat pandas in China. Xi Jinping eats one panda every year on his birthday. The entire one in one day, you know? It's this strength and commitment that allows him to lead the massive, proud nation of China. As he should. As he should.
We're told is actually typical.
I mean, who would want to see the panda dogs?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all like, yeah, we love this, actually.
Just to see the panda dogs at this point.
I would say you've probably seen enough of them right now.
I mean, they're very cute.
I just can't believe anyone thought that this might work, that people might be fooled by this.
Wait, it said in the news report you just did that people weren't fooled. Are you...
Any pandas. A worker insisted visitors are not being misled and that the fuzzy chow chows are accurately described as dogs.
You gotta pay attention, man. It's your show. You're there. You're right there. Also, what is this like? Okay, again, this is, they're doing the like Orientalism thing, like the Dark Orient or whatever, the Far East, you know, the mountainous lands where the Forbidden Palace lies. I'm pretty sure the people visiting the zoo know what a panda looks like. Like, this isn't an impoverished village in the Sudan where they don't have electricity. Like, it's China. That's the panda country. We do need it, Dana. I agree.
Arrived at the zoo before May 1st, China's Labor Day public holiday. They're still there. The crowd size, we're told, is actually typical.
I mean, who would want to see the panda dogs?
Yes.
Wouldn't you? I would go just to see the panda dogs at this point.
I would say you've probably seen enough of them right now.
I mean, they're very cute.
I just can't believe anyone thought that this might work, that people might be fooled by this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on banning zoos? I'm actually pro banning zoos in some capacity. Everyone says zoos are for education and conservation. No, they're not. They're there to make money. A lot of them are horribly abusive. There are some zoos that do an excellent job with those things, conservation, education. But like, let's not pretend that's the norm. You know, I think you could safely remove like 90% of zoos and that'd be fine. Vosh, why? Because they fucking suck on like every level.
They don't look like bears, do they?
No,
it's kind of it's kind of like a cat that doesn't. Cat doesn't look like a skunk if it goes under some white paint, but it always fooled Pepe Le Pew.
I'm wearing black and white right now, but I don't look like a panda. I hope. Well, I mean, I don't know. Eye of the beholder.
Can you imagine being the kind of person who watches like daytime TV? Like shows like can you imagine what that must be like being that person? I would yeah, it's like a deep dark hole. Yeah, China owns like every panda, Skynet one. They're all Chinese pandas.
They're 7,500 miles away, but Washington, D.C. is already...
Oh, they mentioned this in the thing, the pandas they're sending.
Moving and with a family twist for the male Bao Li.
This is very full circle.
All right, okay, whatever. Zoos aren't that bad. Yeah, but first of all, aren't you the person who said that you're a liberal who agrees with the libertarians' economic positions, or am I misremembering? And second of all, haven't you already said that like 3 times during this segment? I can check. I can... Ooh, we've got another one. We've got another one. All right, folks, we're gonna keep naming and shaming this shit. Like, first of all, I was right. You were that guy. This cannot be your chat log when I open you up. You need to talk to other people here. You cannot at Vosh. First of all, you don't need to at Vosh. You don't need to at. The at's unnecessary in this chat. I don't blame you for not knowing that, but it's unnecessary. The name alone is sufficient. You have to talk to each other too. Okay? This is like a common mistake. You come here to talk to me. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to all of stream. You guys have to be friends with each other. You have to kiss. You have to kiss. You have to smooch. And like that. You have to be friends with each other. Like that. You know? Okay? That's all. You know? It's good for chat culture. It's good for chat culture. No, I know, Vermin, there are good zoos. I know there are good zoos. There are also ones that are like fucking horrible, you know? Yeah. Thana, do you think White Nervosa could make it more lenient in chat where you get muted if you repeat the same phrase? Could it be possible to make it like there's a bit more permissibility when it comes to, say, emote use? Like you could use the same emote, or maybe have it not be like a 3-minute repeat period, but have it be like, for emotes, have it be like a 5 to 10 second repeat period, because I think that's fine. Like if a person's just saying like but only if it's just emote, can it detect for that? Probably, right? I don't know how coding works. I don't know. I'm spitballing an idea, you know? How about muting people who say Vosh too much? That's a good idea. That's a good one. Why not enable slow mode? I mean, I could, but you know, I'm okay with it going fast. It's just if chat's going fast, you guys can't be essay posting. You know, if it's going fast, like you need to contribute with the emote. You know, just one emote, by the way, so it can combo. Like everyone wants to be special, and they're like, I'm not going to do one omega lol. I'm going to do 3. No, you do 1. With 3 just breaks the vertical flow. You know, you've got like a nice rolling wave of omega lol, and then someone's like, no, I am a mighty omega lol boy that is sticking up from the water. And see, like that. See how that breaks the flow? See that? Like that looks good, and then blah, like you see that, right? It's just basic chat etiquette. If this was Twitch, you would understand because you would be familiar with the culture, but it's not. You know, a lot of you are, I don't know, a lot of you have jobs, heaven forbid. So, you know, it's you have to be educated on this. It's because we can't send the same message twice without being muted. Well, that is true. You omega lol, then you double omega lol, then you single omega lol, then you double omega lol. Yeah. All right. Prepare for the most French headline of your life. You're all going to look real dumb with those omega lols. So there was a mass stabbing and knife attack at a right-wing event in Germany. The French news article that chat gave me to look at this is titled, Islam Critic Among Several Wounded in Knife Attack at Rally in Germany. Thank you, France. You know, we know what you care about. Proud warrior of the West who critiqued Muhammad attacked. Has it even been established that this was done by an Islamist? Interior Minister Nancy Faeser raised the possibility that the assault could be Islamist motivated. Okay, a guy said that it might be something. Thank you, France. Listen, okay, some people got stabbed. How do we do the fear mongering? This is like a Muslim Syrian refugee migrant, fucking whatever. How do we make this about a guy from like, I don't know, North Africa or whatever? Le wokism. A man with a knife attacked and wounded several people in the market square of the city of Mannheim, around 90 kilometers south of Frankfurt in southwest Germany. 5 of those wounded were taking part in a rally organized by Pax Europa, a campaign group against radical Islam. Okay, so okay, you know, I'll take Pax Europa. That doesn't sound like, you know, Citizens Movement Pax Europa, a far-right and quote-unquote counter-jihad group committed to opposing the construction of new mosques in Germany. At the end of May 2024, Pax Europa had an information stand in the Mannheim Market Square. The Pax Europe activist Michael Sturzenberger, known in the scene for his anti-Islamic speeches, and other activists were attacked by a man with a knife. The attacker was only stopped by a shot from the police. A police officer was critically injured. Sturzenberger was injured, and the attacker was shot. Okay. Let me out. Okay, we're not looking at that link. A police officer who intervened was also stabbed several times in the back of the head. Sentences that you could never see in the United States of America. Travel over to Europe to see unique cultural, you know, like stuff you'd never see here. Like a police officer getting... The cop that shot him was also a Muslim. Is that true? I mean, you say also. Do we even know the guy doing the stabbing was Muslim? The cop who shot him was Muslim. So was the first aid girl. Where are you getting this from? Give me the link. What are you doing? Officers fired at the attacker and wounded him. The extent and severity of the injuries are not yet known, the police said, adding the identity of the attacker has not yet been determined. Wait, did they get him? They said they shot and wounded him. Did they capture him? I'm going to find a different article for this. Pax Europa guys were Muslim as well. I believe you. Oh, caught on video? What the fuck? Anti-Islam activist stabbed in Germany, attack on video. Okay, same basic framework. Do not watch that. You won't. They showed what they could get away with on Fox News, which wasn't much. That was the entire video. Okay, I'm going to try to tap into my inner European, and I'm going to try to engage in some, like, hyper-specific advanced European racism. This motherfucker looks Chechen. Am I wrong or am I wrong? Wrong? Wrong is in that he is he's not Chechen, or wrong is that he doesn't look Chechen? Because he looks Chechen. Looks Greek? I don't think he looks Greek. I think he looks Chechen, man. Whatever. Okay. It's not like you can actually determine those things just by looking at a person. Woke. Okay, I'm watching the whole video now. I'm not even watching audio. I'm just like engaging with the... All right, I'm going to describe it to you guys. Here. Ignore the wet meat noise. That was just someone falling over. Okay, hold on. All right. Man's sure got a knife. He's, looks like he's fucking pinned in the ground, but then everyone backs off him. Or then there's another guy. I don't, honestly, you could put like Benny Hill music over this. It's kind of hard to tell what anyone's even doing. Now a bunch of cops are there. Yeah, like this honestly just looks like a total shit show. Okay, now there's 50 million cops here. This really is Germany. Is it a big knife? It's a pretty big knife. Okay, so yeah, he's been apprehended. Okay. So presumably the only reason that we don't know his identity is because of legal protections in Germany, rights of the accused, so on and so forth. So I guess no one died? The attacker survived being shot by the police. The people survived being stabbed. Daily Wire says he's Moroccan. I don't even know enough about Morocco to develop any stereotypes on the matter, to be honest with you. There was no official word on the motive. One of those injured in the stabbing was a police officer. State media says he's from Afghanistan. Sources in German. What? He's Chechen. He's Moroccan. He's Greek. He's Afghani, right? Yeah, Afghani. Okay. He's from everywhere. He's the fucking world-trotting mystery man. If the investigation shows an Islamist motive, that would be another confirmation of the great danger from Islamist acts of violence that we have warned of. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to tap into my own European here and be very Islamophobic. Radical Islam actually is a big threat to Europe. The problem is just that they're doing the opposite of the right thing. The best way to deal with like a radical religious minority is to incorporate them and to show them that it's much better to wear blue jeans and enjoy like, you know, like blowjobs. I don't know what can far right Islamists not do? Can they pork. They can't eat pork. Can they have? I don't know. Have fun instead. You get one life. My expensive garment steamer has arrived. Thank you for helping me play into the stereotype with chat. You know?
You didn't need to say it.
I didn't need to say it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anal? Yeah, can Muslims have anal? Are they allowed? Is that like haram? I needed the steamer, okay? I have been burning my hands. I think I still have, like, the burns in the shoulder, entirely my fault. I've got multiple burns on my hands and my knuckles because the current steamer that I have, I got that shit like 8 years ago, just like before I cared at all about clothing. The old one, like, it overheats at the top of the grip and burns the top of my hand. Boiling water drips down and gets on my fingers. Like, it's not good, folks. It's not good at all. Stop burning yourself. Yeah, well, okay, well, for that one, that's just it being bad. It was like a $17 steamer. Get a Cleveland steamer. Oh, yo, dude, why are you wasting these bangers on me when you've got like a friend group that's playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards at the base of the staircase, like right outside homeroom, that you could be dropping those on? You're like using those too early. Stop! Embarrassing me. Caliphate rallies in Hamburg. Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, okay, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. I really apologize for this one. Every Muslim in America is like totally fucking chill. Why? Well, the reason for this is because despite 9/11, we didn't commit that hard to socially ostracizing them. I feel like we kind of did, but I guess we didn't. Seriously, American Muslims are disproportionately progressive. Then you go over to like London, France, Germany, whatever, and there are a lot of Muslims there who are, and I'm going to be real with you, I'm not trying to sound, you know, controversial or anti-woke or whatever, fucking lunatics. And the reason for that is because they're so heavily ostracized in their very racist country that they've arrived in, that they form enclaves. And what do enclaves do in their own? Well, have you seen the hit Disney Golden Age of Animation movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame? What did the Romani do? They went in their own little enclave and they taught each other cool songs and like dagger tricks. They were all like practicing with their butterfly knives, you know? That's what the Muslims are doing over in Europe, okay? We need to integrate them, and that means not letting them all, like, you know, fall into these Wahhabist, like these Londonian Wahhabist sects where they all start competing with each other over who can have the most conservative possible interpretation of the Quran, you know? They like go outside and sneer because they're seeing like women's exposed noses. It's like fuck off, dude. You live in London, you fucking LARPer. And a lot of these guys are like, this is basically like the alt-right, but Muslim coded in Europe. You guys know that, right? Like, you have young, disaffected, you know, socially isolated, often insecure men who feel like they're entitled to the subservience of women, and they have a big, like, grand narrative about how the world is taking that from them. And the alt-right types over in America, they do the whole JQ whatever, you know, we all know that deal, I talk about it every day. And over for the Islamist types in Europe, they have the whole, like, you know, the Quran guides the way, you know, Western degeneracy, such and such. What, guys, I ask you, what do you see in the profile of the world's most radical Islamist stan of Turkey? That is right, they're in London. What do you see? They're there. You go to or like Hamburg or whatever, you go to Turkey and you talk to a Muslim there, and you go meet the median Muslim in Turkey, and he looks up at you from his meal of like pork shoulder and alcohol. And he's like, if Allah is good, he will overlook this. And then you go over to like the least Turkey defending Muslim in London, and they're arguing with their mom over whether or not like she should wear a burqa in the house or something. It's about the enclave. It's about social alienation. It's about you know, it's about young men feeling like they need more pussy than they're getting. It's a whole thing. Didn't Bin Laden grow up in the UK? I mean, if you want to ask, like, what reason is there, like, why is it so consistently all the weird, like, hyper-radicalized jihadist insurgent leaders have a tendency to spend time abroad, you know? Tap the map, yellow is Erdogan voters, they're all in Germany, Lamau. How did Turks living abroad vote in Turkey's runoff election? Fuck, that's funny. North Africa, the Arab world, fucking France and Germany, and yeah, perfect. Exactly, of course. The, you know, world's greatest Erdogan stans, the ones who don't have to live under him, obviously. Yeah, oh my god, it's a 2-to-1 in Germany and France for Turkish citizens. Just like Modi supporters outside India. Yeah, it's easier to believe in your strongman when you don't have to deal with the fucking ruined economy. Aren't Americans voting from all across the world either? Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is that there are a significant number of conservative Turkish expats in Germany and France. Look, in Germany, there's fucking 600,000 of them. More, 700,000 of them. And it's a 2-to-1 ratio in favor of Erdogan, which is an insanely high proportion. Anyway, basically, the point that I'm getting at is that I'm an Islamophobe now, but only in Europe. In America, I'm an Islamophile, actually. Hamburg Caliphate rally prompts calls for punishment. Speakers demanded Sharia law in Germany. Can I, a leading Bavarian conservative said such appeals should lead to jail time and citizenship removal. Man, I honestly feel like that's consistent with German law. If you can't be Sikh heiling around Germany, like wanting to live in a hyper-conservative Islamic caliphate feels like that kind of fucking, like, is in the same... Dude, I'm not gonna have sympathy for you if you get your citizenship revoked for wanting a fucking caliphate in Germany. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't give a shit. Fuck you. Go to Saudi Arabia. Leave. Literally, leave. I will unironically do the West, love it or leave it, if you're trying to establish a fucking caliphate here. Are you kidding me? Jesus. Oh, I got deported for being Muslim. Well, did you get deported for being Muslim, or did you get deported for wanting widespread Sharia law so you could subjugate the entire nation to a caliphate that would be led by the religious law that you agree with in the very specific... Like, go join ISIS. Go do something productive with your life and go join ISIS. Go join Boko Haram. What language do you speak? Jesus. Vaj told me to touch grass, and I think I fucked up. Yeah, this is like the dark side of touching grass, I guess. I really do. For what it's worth, by the way, just keep in mind, I still think, quit with the fucking mods, TOS, mods TOS, come on. What is ISIS even doing now? I don't know. They're pretty irrelevant now, though. Boko Haram is still doing stuff. Obviously, don't join ISIS, you fucking... to be clear, like, conservative Islamophobes in Europe are still fucking things up for everybody by being, for one, like, genuinely bad people on their own, and for two, because the policies and the social stigma that they put forward contribute to the social alienation that leads to the enclaves, that leads to the hyper-radicalization, you know? The best way to get a super radical Islam dude or whatever to stop being that super radical Islam dude is to welcome him with open arms so he doesn't feel like he has to defensively protect his identity by becoming like a, you know, yeah, if you've got like John Islam, Muhammad Islam, I assume, you want to make his defensive beliefs seem irrelevant and unnecessary. You don't want to reaffirm them by making him feel like he's the victim of a civilizational conflict. Even the IRGC is recruiting Somali Muslims in Sweden to shoot up synagogues. I mean, they are targets for radicalization, right? It's just funny because, like, American intelligence agencies were so ready for any kind of Islamic terror after 9/11 that you have instances of the FBI basically goading Muslims into trying to do the terror attacks. Like, the FBI was spending like $1 million a day, like, keeping up on every fucking mosque in America, and like, hey man, you know, that's like, hey kid, you know, don't you think America is the great Satan? You know, you want to do something crazy so they could like arrest him if they actually went for it, and nothing fucking happened. Meanwhile, over in Germany, I guess, like, you know, I feel like maybe they could do with a little bit more FBI probing. Pokes young Muslim guy with a stick. Come on, do something. Yeah. German guys that joined ISIS literally did the dig the fucking hole meme. Yeah, yeah. George W. Bush did actually say to love your Muslim neighbors. Yeah, even Donald Trump never committed that hard to the Muslim ban thing. Like, it was a thing for a while, but he doesn't even talk about Muslims anymore. You know, they're like old hat. It's all the border, the border, the border. I'm not saying that he's like not bad on Muslims or Islamophobia. Just it's not the committed position of the right wing in America. Whereas in Europe, it kind of is, or at least it's one of them. And a lot of that, you know, a lot of that comes down, I guess, to exposure. You ain't having fucking caliphate rallies in America. Police said some 1,100 people joined the rally. 1,100 at the caliphate rally? 1,100? Oh my god. That's like more than who are at the Unite the Right rally by a lot. Wasn't there a bunch of cases of the FBI agents getting the FBI called on them by the people they were trying to goad? Yes, yes, it was not an effective use of, yeah. Oh, so it's an actual problem? Did you think I was waffling? No, it is an actual problem. Radical Islam in France, London, or sorry, I'd say London, like, you know, France, England, Germany, they are real issues. They're just being made worse by conservatives in those countries. Yeah. Remember when Spain was predominantly Islamic? There's a historical precedent for Islam approaching Europe. Yeah, but Islam 150 years ago has basically nothing to do with Islam today. There's legitimately like no relationship between these factors at all. The Muslims that are coming into Europe aren't like an ideological continuation. Like, for instance, Catholicism 200 years ago and Catholicism today are... Obviously, there are differences. There's a pretty direct line in terms of cultural influence and longevity, but the past 150 years for Islam have been like transformative in the worst imaginable way, where as a consequence of the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and colonialism and resource exploitation and civilizational conflict, Islam has turned into another one of the Abrahamic religions. Just like, oh yeah, you've got like Christianity split into like the Catholics, the Orthodox Christians. Nobody believes in Protestantism. You've got the Jews and you've got the Muslims, and they're all, you know, doing their own thing, I guess. But over the past, like the past 150 years, like Islam, at least in the Middle East, North Africa, and in Europe, like to the extent that it spreads, is a totally different beast. It's not even, this sounds really bad, but like, it's not even civilizational past a point. Like, the Middle East has been so ransacked that it feels like Islam is now just like, in its cultural effect, we're either talking like varying adjacency to terror cells, a la Saudi Arabia, a la Afghanistan, a la Iran, especially. You know, like, how close are you to your nearest Islamist terror cell, right? Or it's just like which group, which diaspora is fleeing, like which ethnic diaspora has been pushed out of their territory as a consequence of regional war. You know, it doesn't even, there's no like Ottoman Empire, there's no like Persian Empire, there's no like big force from the Middle East that extends outwards with its cultural weight. The closest we have to that is Iran, and Iran is like a very aggressive terrorist state, you know? So yeah, it's pretty bad. We kind of destroyed Islam, man. I don't know. Like, we didn't make it go away. There are more Muslims than ever. We just destroyed any sense of, like, continuity, historical longevity. Don't you think it's wild that some of the most militant Islamists around, like ISIS, were like destroying the historical legacies of their countries? Like, that's pretty wild, you know? Wahhabism. I don't know very much about Islam in like South Asia, so I can't really speak much on that. You know, I'm sure there's like a whole different history there that I just don't know as much about, like Pakistan, India, you know, throughout the. Is it the Philippines or Indonesia that has a significant number of Muslims? Is it both? Malaysia, yeah. Both? Okay, okay, yeah. So I think Indonesia is what I was thinking of. Yeah. Would you say the same about North African countries in North Africa and Southeast Asia? Well, I can't really speak much to Southeast Asia, but considering the fact that my thesis here is these countries have been pillaged to the point of civilizational unrecognizability, yeah, I would say North Africa fits the bill pretty well. Yeah, it's Wahhabism, a lot of it. Islam doesn't have a pope equivalent, no? No, that would be a caliph. Well, that's not even necessarily equivalent. Like a caliph is like the leader of the religion and of the nation, right? Like a great imperial leader who like unites the Muslim world together. Whereas the pope isn't a governmental figure. It's just Iran basically has a pope. Yeah, but he wouldn't call himself a caliph, right? Isn't a good part of Islam peaceful? The text of a religion has very little to do with the behavior of its supporters. It's all material conditions. Muslims in America are progressive and peaceful because of material conditions. Muslims in like Boko Haram or whatever are insanely violent because of material. Like, they can read the same book. I think it's like people will take from the text what they want to hear, and that mostly comes down to the condition they're in as they, you know. Yes, Mr. Slynn. I don't think the actual like religion itself matters much. Whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, I think I think all religions are basically the same in the sense that there are rules and people who are chill won't follow them anyway, and people who aren't chill will follow the ones that are politically expedient, and the ones who are both not chill and in power will force other people to follow those rules to the extent that it's politically expedient to like them and their interests. And that just kind of, you know, whatever. It's all just bleh. Nah, not really. That's way too simplified. Well, pardon me for making like a quick statement on the nature of religion. You know, I don't really think I could give you a not simplified version of that without laying out several doctoral theses for you to review and get back to me on. Eastern religion isn't as batshit crazy as Abrahamic religions. I think that's untrue and kind of Orientalist. It totally is. Hinduism and Buddhism have both been used as pretexts for like a lot of really, 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 really bad shit as well. It's like it's literally all the same. The only real difference, as far as I'm concerned, is that, like, generally speaking, how do you make your temples? And that's more architectural history than anything else. Like Taoism? Taoism fucking sucks, yo. That shit sucks. What about Wicca? If Wicca or Rastafarianism or Zoroastrianism or whatever the fuck else had like big civilizations where hundreds of millions of people believed in them, yes, there would be massive ethnic conflicts where believers in Wicca would be like beheading believers in some other thing. You know, 100%. It always happens. It always happens. There's no like religion you can find that's so innocuous you would stop believing in it, right? Any religion that's ever had any kind of institutional power will inevitably become the same religion, which is, this is why God says I have to be in charge of you and why you have to work for me and why you have to be tolerant of less during your lifetime so you get rewarded with more after you're dead. That's every religion, every time, no exceptions, as soon as it gains the power to like actually influence large groups of people's behavior. You're describing the Celts and Roman time. I'm describing literally all religions. What about atheism? Well, atheism isn't a religion, so... So it's the Hegelian master and slave dynamic? No? That's a totally different thing. Where'd you pull that one from? You can Google Hegelian master and slave dynamic, which is about the oppressor seeing themselves in the oppressed and like recognizing themselves in the relationship that they have with the slave. And in that way, in a sense, they are enslaved by the context of the... It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean, you can... I'm drunk, sorry. You're not sorry. Or maybe you're one of those drunks who feels the eye of, you know, the eye of the heavens on you and you sort of shrivel a little bit. I'll go easy on you this time, okay? Sober up, drink some water. You're playing a dangerous game of saying every time there's going to be at least one exception in the history, even if it's the overwhelming trend. Yeah, well, the problem with me the problem with me playing that dangerous game is that I'm not a gigantic gaping pussy. Like, when I'm making general statements about behavior, I don't feel the need in every case to go, well, just so you know, because anybody who would try to like defeat my argument with an exception that invariably proves the rule, like that's just such like loser shit, right? Like, hey, did you know that your like broad sweeping generalization only massively applies to 99% of religions? Like, okay, I'm fine with that, you know? Like, I'm okay with that. Nothing's 100%, right? Like, past a point, it just sounds like you're always hedging your bets. And I want to hedge my bets when I'm talking about stuff that I feel like kind of like meaningfully motivates people's behavior or decision making. If I'm hedging my bets and it's like, yeah, I think that 99% of the time you should be nice to people. And it's like, okay, because 1% of the time, like being mean to people will actually like shock them out of a bad behavioral pattern. It'll actually help them in the long run, even if they don't thank you for it. It's like, okay, come on. That's actually a good point, good thinking. Well, GGGHT_2, don't overstate the case. You say that's a good point and good thinking, but there are instances where that logic might not necessarily apply. You're kind of playing a dangerous game. You might make yourself the fool if in a future instance, that logic that I just applied that you praised ends up not being the case. Okay. Holy shit, it's 3:30, and I still have to... Ukraine or donos? No. We need to do at least one more section because we haven't even gone over the seethe Convicted Felon Trump, which is My bad. They'll still be here tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow I'm doing the second half of the Paper Mario fundraiser, the Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. You're going to watch. I'm doing all the voices. You got to donate because we're trying to raise money to pay for the housing and accommodations of people who are going with me and Progressive Victory to New York, to Yonkers, June 22nd, 23rd. We're going to go out there and canvass for Jamal Bowman. Okay. Yeah, that's tomorrow. How much did you raise last weekend? 15,000. The goal's 20,000, but can we go higher? I think if we hit 30,000, we basically accommodate like everyone's travel costs and accommodations. So I'm going to rep it. I don't want to stop at 20K. That complacency, I'm built different. I think we can go even further beyond. Before we do that, we need TTS fixed. It got fixed. Like it was playing. Do you want a specific color for Yoshi? I want red Yoshi, We'll see what we can do. All right, people. This is kind of an interesting one. A lot has happened in the past 48 hours in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, I know you've been hearing about it for years. I get that. Sometimes this is part of life. You don't want Ukraine to lose, do you? So keep paying attention. So, the big one here is that for literal years now, America has tiptoed around giving Ukraine certain weapons because we were afraid Ukraine would use them offensively against Russia. We didn't want that because Russia has this thing called nukes. They do a lot of damage. If Russia got upsetty spaghetti, they might use them. That was the concern. Now, the problem with that is that a lot of really, 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 really good weapons that you could conceivably give Ukraine are ones that could easily strike inside of Russia. There are also logistical necessities to striking inside of Russia. For example, Russia is freely striking inside of Ukrainian territory, so bit of a bias there, a little bit unfair, if I do say so myself, but also logistics lines, ammo depots, airfields. There are a bunch of things that are just wide open targets within about 150 miles of the front line into Russia that Washington has not felt great about Ukraine firing into. We've been concerned that he might escalate. We are no longer concerned that he might escalate. Antony Blinken has said that we have approved the use of U.S. weapons inside of Russia. There you go. So yeah, this was like the big limiting factor here. There are so many weapons that we could give Ukraine that give them the ability to strike inside of Russia. A lot of them are basically necessary to winning. Another big issue with our unwillingness to do this beforehand is the fact that this is the way you get a big leg up on Russia. Let's test your guys' memory. Where does Russia's military doctrine place most of its emphasis? What do they like? What do those Russians like? What do they fire a lot of? What are they really, really big on? Artillery. Artillery. They've got a fuckload of artillery because they've got 1 million, billion, trillion artillery shells sitting in warehouses from the Cold War. They're getting them in from North Korea as well. They will eventually run out one day. They are good with artillery. Artillery is cheap. Artillery is easy. Artillery is, relatively speaking, long range. But only relatively speaking, right? You know what outfires the range of an artillery weapon? Missiles. Like, big time. Can't beat missiles. We're giving them weapons now that give them the ability to strike much further than Russia can reliably. And Russia, while it can frequently resupply its artillery, it cannot resupply long-range missiles. Those are really expensive. That is not like that is not a field they're capable of constantly resupplying, The best they can do is cheap drones, but with the right AA, even that's difficult to really do anything with. This was only after every single European country had approved it and massive pressure was put on the Biden admin. That's true. I don't want to downplay that. This was not like something America's leading the charge on. We are at the very back of the charge. The very back. Is it worth explaining the difference from regular artillery and missiles? Let me think about this, okay? Russia's main strategy for doing damage from long range is to load up a bunch of Cold War era artillery vehicles, load them up with Cold War era artillery shells, and fire indiscriminately in a direction. Very effective if you have a lot of artillery, which they do. What Ukraine can now do is pinpoint a hair on a gnat's ass from 200 miles away and vaporize an airfield, an ammunition depot, a critical piece of infrastructure like a bridge or a road, a guy if they want to. You can hit the ass hair on a guy as well. They have this ability, and we've given them permission, so that's cool. Over the past weeks, Ukraine came to us and asked for authorization to use weapons we're providing to defend against this aggression, including against Russian forces massing on the Russian side of the border and then attacking into Ukraine. So this is a change in policy that's taking place after, like, what, 2.5 years of tiptoeing around it? 2.5 years of not being willing to go this far. Ukraine has already started smashing Russian bases and equipment in Belgorod that are supporting Russian offenses in Kharkiv. They've been upping their... oh, this is from today. Russian air defense in Belgorod is active. Local reports of 20 explosions in 2 separate waves. Yeah, man, sucks to be on any kind of Russian base within 200 miles of the Ukrainian border right now, huh? You know, not a great time to be there. D-Day has come. This was always going to be a requirement for Ukraine to win. How can Ukraine ever stop Russia from encroaching on its territory if Russia is allowed to have completely untouched, unmolested air bases, resupply bases, ammunition depots, fuel depots, everything, literally like 30 miles away from the front line in Russian territory? That's insane. Logistically, that's a really, really steep hill to climb. It's not impossible, but Ukraine's not exactly fighting with every card in its deck anyway, you know? It's a big deal. U.S. policy will continue to prohibit the Ukrainian military from using ATACMS, beta, which have a range of up to 186 miles, and other long-range U.S. supplied weapons for deep strikes inside Russia. This makes sense. Basically, they're saying, please do not bomb Moscow. Deep strike, I assume in this case, means like beyond the logistical, like beyond the immediate sort of range, extended past the front line within Ukraine, you know? I don't know what the exact line there would be. I'm sure they've talked it out privately. They don't want to make this line publicly known, because if they do, Russia would then build all of its bases 1 foot further than that line, you know? Like, yeah, you're not allowed to use these ATACMS or any other long-range missiles to fire at anything more than 142 miles from the border, and they're building 143 miles from the border. Ukraine has been sending special forces to raid those depots for a while. By special forces, you mean World War I era crop duster planes with a bomb strapped in the seat. We've seen. We'll see what happens. Giving them advanced fighter jets, long-range attack missiles, green light, multiple guided launch rocket systems, stabilize, create conditions to push back. Russians are now going to find themselves in the back foot. That'd be nice. Ukraine and Russia announced major prisoner swap. I saw this. 75 Ukrainian prisoners had been returned from Russia, and they handed over 75 of their own. Okay, sure, all right. I mean, yeah. Prisoner swaps are a pretty common thing to do during wartime. Nice. Thousands of Ukrainian prisoners apply to join army in return for parole. Let's go, boys! Ukrainian Penal Legion. Hey, listen, if the Wagner Group could do it in Russia, why the fuck can't Ukraine do it, huh? Hey, at least it's volunteer and not conscription, okay? Yeah, I want to hear. I want to hear. Let me. I clicked the pause. You see me clicking the pause? Do you see this? I'm clicking. I don't know why it's not pausing anymore. Oh, I can unmute, can I? Okay. Can I go back? Okay, so you just can't pause this one, I guess.
Ukraine is turning to its prison population to fill the ranks of its waning infantry in the fight against Russia. Under a deal offered by the government, prisoners will have their sentences cleared if they serve in the army until the end of the war. The Justice Ministry says more than 4,000 have applied so far, including Mykola Rybalka, who is behind bars for theft.
You know, 5 years behind these walls leaves their mark. You've seen a lot and understand a lot. You're not scared of anything anymore.
Ukraine is struggling to recruit soldiers, particularly to fight in frontline positions that suffer heavy losses. Private Russian mercenary group Wagner recruited tens of thousands of Russian prisoners to fight in Ukraine, offering them a full pardon if they
survive 6 months on the front. Nice.
Ukraine, convicted of certain offences like multiple murders or treason, are barred from serving. Successful applicants
multiple
need to
murders?
pass medical checks and be approved by a court. Reuters was given access to a hearing chaired by Judge Dmytro Kachenka.
The main issue is to make sure the prisoner freely agrees to join the military service and that his health makes him fit for it.
More than 1,700 already have the green light. Over 780 prisoners have already been freed from prison.
This seems like a reasonable policy to me. I mean, considering the fact they've already done conscriptions, yeah, it makes sense in the context of how desperate things are. Is this real, dude? Physical state of Ukrainian prisoners that were returned today, completely starved. Is this real? I need confirmation that this is real. Okay, hold on. I mean, we know that Russia has been torturing the prisoners of war, having them, quote, from the Commission, Genocide Watch, there was little food resulting in acute hunger that drove some to eating worms, soap, paper, and remnants of dog food. This is apparently a photo of one of them coming back. I gotta say, considering the conditions, I can't really blame Ukraine for wanting to get as many boys to the front lines as possible. So they're out there doing some Auschwitz shit in the fucking Russian POW camps. Truly, the legacy of the Soviets is preserved. Jesus. Probably got off light. Well, I mean, a lot of them probably died, you know. This is a very dark article about the sexual violence Ukrainian POWs and civilians have suffered under Russian occupation, if you're interested. I'm not. Thank you, man, though. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, contextualizing it, and offering it to me. I'm turning it down with respect. Yeah, I'll pass. Have you seen this? France plans to send instructors to Ukraine to train its military. This follows NATO discussions on sending military instructors to Ukraine. France's defense ministry confirmed ongoing talks with Kiev about training Ukrainian soldiers, with Syrskyi signing documents for the first instructor's visit. Oh, they're actually doing it. All right. I mean, we've had NATO trainers there before, though that was like more towards the beginning of the conflict. Normally, when we train Ukrainians, they get taken out of Ukraine first. Like, Ukrainian pilots leave Ukraine so they can be trained on, like, how do you use this fighter jet in France or whatever. That was, I believe, that was a picture of a prisoner that was in Russia that is being returned to Ukraine. Like, the Russians did that. Kiev has asked the U.S. and other NATO countries to help train 150,000 soldiers closer to the front lines. Closer to the front lines? Whoo, boy. I hope we don't lose anyone out there. That's going to be a whole goddamn affair. If you, if a fucking NATO military instructor catches a drone closer to the front line, they know what they're doing. I know. Is this bait for a responsive attack? No, no. It wouldn't be enough to trigger Article 5. We're sending people into their country. It's not really an attack on our country. Though it is, yeah, it is a deterrence. The U.S. and multiple European allies, as well as NATO Secretary General, have distanced themselves from the French president's statement. However, several countries have not ruled out sending troops for non-combat missions, such as training the Ukraine military. Nice. Well, I think that's pretty neat, you know? Altogether, I would say that today's been a relatively good news day in the sense that, I mean, obviously Trump's been convicted. That's cool. Biden seems to have done a bit of a gamer move on Netanyahu, which is cool. We had somebody cured of diabetes for the first time, which is cool. We saw dogs that were dyed to look like panda bears, which was really, really cool. And it seems like this is a positive turn, news-wise, for Ukraine, you know? The main problem with Ukraine right now is people have lost hope, and the reason for that is because the Ukrainian counteroffensive from last summer failed. But I think the reason it failed was they just didn't have the tools for it, right? The Ukrainian counteroffensive that was attempted was like a literal push against the Russian line. How hard must it be to do a push against an artillery-backed line? Like, the whole thing. Russia has had years now to fortify the territory they've captured with mines and barbed wire and traps and such. And then you've got the drones and the constant artillery shelling. And it's like, no, the only way you're moving forward here is if you have, you know, smart missiles taking out their artillery positions and their supply lines. And you force them on the back burner there. They didn't get the equipment they needed, and they didn't get the really important shit they needed, which is like the ATACMS, you know? Yeah, Demo Boy. But they can never have our cool missiles. All right. That's all very nice. I have social obligations to meet, so in the meantime, I think I'm going to do the cool guy streamer thing and acknowledge your existence by reading out some donations. I think that's pretty good of me. You're welcome. Terminal Sanity, thank you for the $10. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Biden immediately responding to this war will last at least 7 months with, no, actually. We'll see. I don't want to get too excited too quick, but we'll see. Shadow Angel 9, thank you for the $5. I can't care about this till we get a Chinese equivalent to Tiger King, but for pandas, probably out there. And Through the Wormhole, thank you for the $2. Will this be a bigger spoiler for Joe or Trump? The Libertarian candidate? I still think for Trump. Horizon with the $5. What chat fails to understand is that most zoos are literally roadside Joe Exotic shit. Yeah, literally. Like, everyone goes to the San Diego Zoo once, and they're like, man, every zoo is this big, like, scientific conservatorium. It's no, most of them are just like animal abuse pits. Shuck and Fantasy George, thank you for the $5 and $10 respectively. Really appreciate that. Type 1 diabetes is more likely to benefit from the stem cell thing. Yeah, they only have one patient case to go off of. It's possible it works pretty well for diabetes 1 as well, at least with some modifications. Emerald Wolf, Mistress Lynn, and Slashy, thank you all for the Tier 1 subs. Mistress Lynn with the 3 gifted Tier 1 subs. My birth month present for you. Birth month? Your birthday's coming up? But it's not even June yet. Oh, no, your birthday already happened. Yeah. Okay, still your birth month. That's right. Yeah, it already happened. I remember, Mistress Lynn. Yeah, I remember. No, Mistress Lynn, I said that before you said that. That wasn't just me picking on your cue. I remembered. Thank you for the 3 gifted Tier 1 subs. Dick Thulu, thank you for the Tier 4 sub. Parasocialism demands praxis. That's true. That's pretty true. I agree. Thank you. Palion, the Tier 1 sub, average American after filing their taxes. What the fuck is this? I'm not watching a YouTube short. I agree with whatever you said. Orange August, the tier 4 sub, claiming Vosh is a dependent on my taxes with all the money that I give him. You might be able to get away with it. I've been claiming all you guys as dependents on my form for 4 years now, and it's saved me a lot of money. That's why, Mistress Lynn, I decided to have it. It's like taking the Christmas tree down 3 days before Christmas, so you can take it up again on Christmas. M68 Ken, thank you for the tier 4 sub. It's very kind of you. I've had 2 months of constant Crohn's disease pain. I'm sorry. And I'm still happier than MAGA is right now. Also, I think Mises is pronounced like Mises. Yeah, I think it is supposed to as well. I can't get it in my head, and it sounds worse than Mises. Like, Mises sounds bad, but Mises sounds even worse. It's like, you know? God. Well, hopefully you feel better soon. James Ward with the 5. Yes, that is my dad on Twitter. Scheherazade, thank you for the $5. Love the jacket and the fashion arc in general. I think you'll get a kick out of this guy. What the fuck is this? This is me! Oh my god. What is this? Drunk countdown to victory, PA and GA about the flip blue. I'm very sorry. I think I hold up pretty well, like, considering the fact that this is my job. But I can't stand watching my own videos and streams. I can stand hearing my own voice. But, like, watching myself, especially back at this point when I didn't understand hair, beard, actually the beard's fine. Glasses, clothes, background, lighting, setup, anything. Baby Voosh. Yeah, I was just a wee lad of 26, 27 here. True, Thana. That's how it is. I was a fan of Destiny for like 10 years before I streamed, you know? That's the cycle. Appalachian Anarchist, the $15. Hey, Vosh, cool if no, but here's an 8-minute clip of my highlight in life as a blacksmith if you want to skip around. What, didn't we just do a thing where the self-promotion, it's like I can't rep you because I don't know, and I'll just be annoyed that I have to like watch and assess what you're giving me first? Here's, with the additional $5, here's the link. I forgot to comment it in the last one. Oof. Oh, well, okay. That clears that up. Wait, you were on fucking Forged and Fire? Okay, first of all, you realize this is copyright. I can't watch this. Second of all, you were in Forged and Fire? No shit? Fucking yo! I literally can't watch this. It's copyright. Like, they'll instantly twist my nuts off. They fucking killed that guy. What else do you do in Appalachia? Well, you have, like, the coal that you use to run the furnace, you know? Oh, man, the clip I sent Vosh was like, you think I'm some Okay, hold on. If it was relevant. Are you people surprised I'm wearing sweatpants? You think I'm gonna wear fucking slacks? I wear anime shirts to work, bro. You think I'm going to wear anything other than fucking sweatpants for my live streaming job? For my fucking computer chair? Bro, this is the chair I sit in to fucking look at fucking porn, okay? I'm not coming here in fucking slacks or jeans, okay? Who the fuck do you think I am? What kind of pretentious, stupid fucking asshole do you think I am, okay? You think I'm gonna come here in a fucking suit jacket? I don't have a studio like Kyle Kalinske or Sam Cedar or any of these fucking people. All right, in defense, in fairness, I'm not technically wearing a suit jacket. This is a linen hopsack carry-on jacket. It's not. It doesn't have multiple linings. It's not actually a suit jacket. It's a hopsack carry-on jacket. Okay. Yeah, it's not even a suit jacket because it's not like part of a piece. It's a sport jacket. Counterpoint, old you would say fuck you to that explanation. Well, old me was clearly plastered as well, so you know. You know, you just proved him right, right? Yeah. What do you mean him? Bro is me. You think I've forgotten where I came from? Every day of my life, I look up at the mountain before me, and I choose to climb. Okay, I'm not like you guys. All right, I don't get a rest point at the base of the mountain and then think, that was enough work. I've done enough work. I'm always out here. You know what I'm doing after stream? I'm testing out my goddamn Conair turbo travel steamer, garment steamer thing. Hopefully it burns my hands less than the last one. Is that your prior social engagement? I'm going to have all my friends watch. I'm going to have them watch. I'm going to be like, hey, watch how all the wrinkles in this linen disappear. They're going to be like, holy shit. That Celeste reference proves you're trans femme. That was just a mountain climbing, right? Least online transgender woman. Mountain climbing. I see you're a fellow gamer. You've played Celeste as well. Yes. The subtle off-white coloring. Yeah. I need to read these donos. Nikki Bugs, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Vosh, thanks for being so consistently in support of animal rights / veganism, etc. One of the reasons I started watching in the first place. Yeah, it's just one of those, I really don't think there's any way to address it without just government policy bringing the hammer down on factory farming or farming of any kind or whatever. I will be honest with you. When I envision a perfect world, I do envision a vegetarian one. I'm okay. I'm okay with the cows getting the milk. There's a lot of really good cheese out there, man. We need to think for a second, okay? This is what I've said before. It's relatively easy to be vegetarian. There are so many protein options that you can use to replace meat. Replacing butter and cheese? Apocalyptic. And then I say you're delusional. Fucking itchy. I thought I had I feel like an itch in my nose, and I think, do I have some incredibly belligerent nose hair? What's going on? So I do this, and it turns out it was a mustache hair that curved up and was poking my nose, and I just yank it out, and it fucking hurts. It hurts. Vegan cheese has gotten better. I haven't had vegan cheese in the past 5 years. The last time I had vegan cheese, it was very bad. I know it's gotten better. I don't know how much better it's gotten. Okay. Kowalski from Nebraska with the $5. Is there a reason to single out religion as opposed to all philosophy? It seems like all of the downsides are also aspects of nationalism. Well, I agree with nationalism to an extent, but I don't think that all philosophy follows those lines in the same way, because different political ideologies and philosophies tend to guide those material conditions in different directions. I do think ultimately that material conditions are a subsuming force. It encompasses everything, and every other ideology, all ideology really, is just a way of structuring thought and behavior to align your interests with the outcome that you expect from any given set of conditions. But, it's the invocation of the metaphysical that gets me with religion, Zah, thank you for the $5. Please educate us on how to do combos since you're so good at it. What the fuck? How does this all... Oh yeah, the 64 smug combo break. That was good. I feel good about that one. I was there on that dark day. Dick Thulu with the $5. Rate my appearance on a dating show 20 years ago. I genuinely don't want to rate Chatter's appearances. I've said this before. I don't want to. I'm not showing you on stream. I'm seeing 4 dudes in t-shirts. I think you all look great. That's what I'm saying, okay? I'm really sorry. I don't like doing that. Oldthok with the $5. Hey Vosh, join your Discord to get set advice. Here's progress on my latest mini, an orc Stumpa, and my new dog, Thor. Yo! Looking at shit like this makes me want to get orcs, even though I know most of it would just be painting their dumb green faces. That looks sick as shit, dude. That rusting looks incredible. That one is a joke. It's actually funny. Oh, no fucking video link though knows if I can help it. Hey, here's $5 and the 1 minute and 30 seconds of your time where you have to respond to the prompt that I'm giving you in a form of a video. Wait, that's a mini? Well, it's a pretty big mini. You know, it's like the big Titan. This is the Titan, right? For orcs? Or is the Titan even larger? I forget. Is this the Titan or is this the big vehicle? I love how Imager is stretching out all these images. So fucking cool. God, it looks like real. It looks like a metal sculpture. Yeah, believe it or not, this is painted plastic. It looks so real. It looks really good. Sake with the 5 tier 1 subs. Critical country support. 13 like video on OK Buddy Vouch from 3 days ago. I'm Vosh and I'm horsing around. Nope. Nice try though. Nice roll of the dice. And with the additional 5 tier 1 subs, it does exist. The Hitler particle? Structure of adamenzane. Huh. Real dialectical scientists. This is like, what is it? Lacanian agriculture? No, not Lacan. Who was the guy who rejected agricultural science in the Soviet Union? Lysenkoism. Modern socialist Lysenkoism is just never ever using this particle. And it's a good idea. All right, folks. I love you all very much. I am streaming pretty much all day tomorrow, though it is going to be a fundraiser for Progressive Victory Canvassing, playing Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, not like dedicated politics. So show up if you're cool. You know, be there or be square. You know, I can't force you to be there. I would if I could, but I can't. I'm going to send you guys over to Dylan Burns TV. He's been known to cover politics a few times in his life. You know, I say he should keep it up. I think it's going pretty well. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow, unless you're square. Take care.